Chapter 33-44. Mingzhe had the intention to retreat and escape. With a roar, he unleashed all of his strength and used his strongest move to block the attack of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe warrior. Then, he took the opportunity to retreat frantically, turned around, and ran. But in the next moment, his body stiffened and his pupils shrank. He didn't know when, but another burly nether ape had appeared in front of him. "Get out of my way!" Mingzhe shouted. His face was ferocious. He unleashed his full strength, wanting to kill his way out. But he lost all hope immediately. Boom! The Dark Ape Fighting Tribe expert exuded a terrifying aura that swept across the starry sky. He was also a divine emperor. Ah, damn it! Mingzhe roared in despair. He couldn't imagine how there could be so many divine emperors in the soldier's mansion. Kill! The elites of the Nether Ape Battle Tribe launched a barrage of attacks. The Dark Ape Fighting Tribe expert had also arrived. The two divine emperors of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe joined forces and their power was too terrifying. Mingzhe tried his best to defend but it was useless. After a few moves, Mingzhe let out a blood-curdling scream. His body had been blasted apart by a huge fist, exploding into pieces. His soul tried to escape, but it was caught by another Dark Ape Battle Clan warrior. However, he didn't destroy Mingzhe's soul for the time being because Lu Ming still had something to ask. The two black-robed men and the two divine emperors of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe were locked in a fierce battle. They had already exchanged nearly 100 moves. The two black-robed men were indeed powerful. They were able to fight evenly with the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe expert who had used the ghost battle art. Swoosh! Suddenly, a sword light shot out from the top of Lu Ming's head. The sword light was as fast as lightning. It was unimaginably fast. It was like a fairy flying from the heavens and pierced towards Lu Ming's glabella. The terrifying sword light enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming couldn't even move. The third black-robed man had made his move. He was the leader of the three black-robed men and was stronger than the other two black-robed men. Second-level Divine Emperor. Divine Lord Realm, the gap between each level was even greater. The difference between each level of the God King realm was huge. A higher-level cultivator could easily kill a lower-level cultivator. And the disparity between each level of the Divine Lord realm was even greater than that of a Divine King. The difference of a single level was like the difference between heaven and earth. This black-robed person who took action was a second-level Divine Lord. Such horrifying strength, in addition to hiding in the dark, suddenly attacking Lu Ming was simply a sure kill strike. Forget about Lu Ming, even a first-level Divine Lord powerhouse would also die without a doubt. Even a second-level Divine Lord would be in danger. However, the corners of Lu Ming's mouth curled up into a sneer, not panicking at all. This was because he had expected this to happen. Previously, through the formation that Blue Merchant had set up, he had already seen that there were 4 people on the other side. They were Mingzhe and 3 black-robed men. After that, only Mingzhe and 2 people in black robe rushed into Dragon Emperor City. Needless to say, one more person in black robe was lurking in the dark. Therefore, Lu Ming was long prepared. The sword light speed was astonishingly fast, arriving in an instant. It looked like it was about to stab between Lu Ming's brows. Die! That black-robed person's eyes revealed a savage and excited glint, as if he already saw Lu Ming dying under his sword. As long as he killed Lu Ming, the state preceptor would definitely reward him handsomely. But at this time, Lu Ming's side suddenly extended 2 fingers, clamping at the sword light. Clang! The sword light trembled and was directly fixed, being clamped by 2 fingers, unable to move at all. Not good. The black-robed person leader's heart shook wildly, simply inconceivable. His sure-kill sword was actually blocked. Furthermore, it was even clamped by 2 fingers. How was this possible? He was a second-level Divine Lord powerhouse. What kind of existence was it, to be able to clamp his sure-kill sword with 2 fingers? Thinking up to here, his heart trembled, cold sweat flowing all over his body. Retreat. At this moment, there was only one word in his heart: retreat. Because an existence who could clamp his sword light with 2 fingers was absolutely not what he could deal with. He was extremely decisive. With a thought, he let go of the long sword and his figure retreated explosively. But it was already too late. The person who clamped the black-robed person leader with 2 fingers was naturally the Dark Ape Battle Race's Grand Elder, Yuan Kong. Still want to leave now? Naive. Yuan Song's cold voice sounded. Following that, his fingers trembled, and a terrifying power burst forth, surging into the battle sword. Immediately, the battle sword hummed and vibrated non-stop, then turned into a sword light, flying forward at a terrifying speed. Its speed was much faster than the black-robed person leader's explosively retreating speed. In an instant, it caught up with the black-robed person leader. Not good. The black-robed person leader's heart shook wildly. With a furious roar, he attacked with all his might. The sword light that filled the sky formed a huge wheel of sword chi, spinning continuously in front of him, wanting to block the sword light that was coming at him. But, puff! The sword light flashed, and the wheel of sword chi instantly collapsed. The sword light pierced through the black-robed person leader's glabella. The black-robed person leader's eyes opened wide. Unfortunately, there was no longer any trace of life, completely fallen. He was killed in one move. So strong! Lu Ming exclaimed in his heart. Yuan Song's strength was unfathomable. Ever since he had followed him out, he had easily defeated the black-robed person several times. Lu Ming could not figure out Yuan Song's strength at all. However, one thing was for sure: Yuan Song's strength was absolutely astonishing. Lu Ming speculated that the overall strength of the Dark Ape Battle Race was definitely not below that of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace. As the Grand Elder of the Dark Ape Battle Race, Yuan Song's strength was second only to the tribe leader of the Dark Ape Battle Race, Yuan Huan. One could imagine how terrifying his strength was. The black-robed person leader's death shocked the other 2 black-robed people. They did not dare to continue fighting and wanted to escape. However, under such circumstances, how could they escape? Bam! Yuan Song stepped out, stretched out a palm, and pressed forward. Rumble. A huge black palm covered the sky, pressing down on the 2 black-robed people. The 2 black-robed people tried their best to resist, but the result was that their bodies shook violently, and they vomited blood. They were severely injured and had no strength to resist. They were surrounded by the elites of the Dark Ape Battle Race. Speak. Who sent you? Lu Ming stared at the 2 black-robed people and asked coldly. If you want to kill us, then kill us. It's impossible for you to get information from us. One of the black-robed people replied, as if he was unafraid of death. Aren't you afraid of death? Lu Ming asked. What's there to be afraid of? The 2 black-robed people replied. All right, then I'll send you on your way. Lu Ming said coldly. With a wave of his hand, a divine lord from the Dark Ape Battle Race stepped forward and punched out. One of the black-robed people exploded and died on the spot. He only killed one of them, but left the other one alive. Are you going to speak now? If you speak, I'll let you live. Lu Ming said. However, the remaining black-robed person was not afraid at all. He looked coldly at Lu Ming, without the slightest fear. Chapter 33:45. Lu Ming felt a headache coming on. One look and he knew that these people were specially trained to be sacrificial warriors and assassins. Lu Ming had met such people more than once along the way. These people weren't afraid of death at all. It was almost impossible to get information from them. Moreover, there was a restriction placed in their souls. Once their souls were searched, the restriction would be activated and destroy their souls. It was impossible to search their souls. I'll talk. At this moment, another voice was heard. It was Ming Zhe's voice. Ming Zhe was left with a wisp of soul in the hands of an expert from the Dark Ape fighting tribe. At the Divine Lord realm, one's soul was extremely powerful. Even if one's physical body was destroyed, one's soul could find a chance to be reborn. At this moment, he was scared to death and he naturally shouted. Lu Ming was overjoyed. However, he didn't show it on his face. He said, "Tell me, who sent you? If I tell you, you have to promise not to kill me." Ming Zhe said. "All right, as long as you tell me, I won't kill you." Lu Ming said. "No, I don't trust verbal promises. You have to swear on your life origin and I'll let you go." Ming Zhe shouted. "You still dare to talk terms with me at this moment? Kill him." Lu Ming's face turned cold. He waved his hand at the expert from the Dark Ape fighting tribe. "No, no, don't," Ming Zhe screamed in fear. His soul trembled and he almost collapsed. "Tell me," Lu Ming said indifferently. "I'm from the general's mansion. The general wants to kill you," Ming Zhe shouted. He didn't dare to hide anything as he was afraid that he would be crushed. General's mansion. Lu Ming's eyes flashed coldly. He had heard of the general's mansion before. It was near the hidden dragon mansion. Obviously, the other party was afraid of him. That was why they sent someone to kill him. However, how could a mere wasteland reclamation general have so many experts? What about them? Don't tell me they're also from the general's mansion. Lu Ming looked at the black-robed man. "They're not from the general's mansion," Ming Zhe said quickly. "Then where are they from? Who sent him?" Lu Ming asked. "I don't know about that," Ming Zhe said. As he spoke, he saw Lu Ming's face darken. He quickly shouted, "I really don't know. You have to believe me. They went to the Wasteland Reclaimer General and said that they would help him kill you. As for their identity and origin, even the Wasteland Reclaimer General doesn't know." "What I said is true," Ming Zhe shouted. He was afraid that Lu Ming would kill him out of anger. Lu Ming frowned. He felt that what Ming Zhe said was true. They sent people to kill me openly, but they were afraid that it would cause panic in the other mansions. That's why they secretly sent people to assist the other mansions in killing me. This way, no one would say anything. Lu Ming sneered, easily guessing the other party's plan. Is it the Crown Prince or the State Preceptor? Lu Ming's mind raced. Because these two people were the most suspicious. Of course, the other forces couldn't help but suspect them as well. For example, the 9 Serenities Heavenly King residence, the Lan family, the War God clan, etc. Kill him. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to one of the Dark Ape Combat Tribe members. The Dark Ape Combat Tribe member nodded and released his divine force. A destructive force surged towards Ming Zhe's soul. "Ah! You!" Ming Zhe screamed in horror, but in the next moment, his soul exploded and turned into ashes. Then, Lu Ming looked at the last black-robed man and fell into deep thought. He was thinking about how to get some information from the other party. "Let me search his soul." At this moment, Yuan Song spoke. "I guess there's a seal in his soul," Lu Ming said. Yuan Song nodded and said, "We can only try our best. We'll get as much information as we can." In the end, Lu Ming nodded. This was the only way. Perhaps, with Yuan Song's unfathomable cultivation, he could get some information. Yuan Song walked over and waved his hand. A powerful force shrouded the last black-robed man. The black-robed man's body kept exploding and blood splattered everywhere. His cultivation was completely destroyed. With his cultivation destroyed, his resistance to the soul search was weaker. Then, ghostly chi spread out from Yuan Song's body and shrouded the black-robed man in it. Yuan Song began to search his soul. "Ah!" In the next moment, the black-robed man screamed. Runes appeared in between his eyebrows. His head expanded as if it was going to explode. There was indeed a seal in his soul. Once his soul was searched, it would self-destruct. Suppress him. Yuan Song shouted. His divine force surged, trying to suppress the seal. A dazzling light shone between the two of them. In the next moment, there was a loud bang. The black-robed man's head exploded. He had died. The restrictive spell had activated. Senior Yuan Song, did you get any clues? Lu Ming asked. There was a glimmer of hope in his heart. I only got a fragment, but I already know who sent him. Yuan Song said. Who is it? Lu Ming quickly asked. The Grand Preceptor of the Taishu dynasty. Yuan Song said. It's him. Lu Ming's eyes shone with a cold light. It was obvious that the Grand Preceptor believed that Wu Fan had died at the hands of Lu Ming. He wanted to avenge Wu Fan and kill Lu Ming. Old man, one day, I will take your head with my own hands. Lu Ming said in his heart. Also, the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion can no longer exist. A cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. After cleaning up the battlefield, Lu Ming led Yuan Song and a few Divine Lord Dark Ape fighting clan members toward the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion. The Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion occupied a vast territory that spanned across a few galaxies. Its territory was much larger than a general's mansion. Of course, Lu Ming did not need to attack them one by one. He went straight to the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion. At that moment, a banquet was being prepared in the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion. The banquet was to celebrate the destruction of the Hidden Dragon Mansion and the few black-robed men. The Wasteland Reclaimer General knew that the black-robed men must have a powerful background. Therefore, he wanted to take the opportunity to curry favor with them. The Wasteland Reclaimer General sat at the top, slowly sipping his wine as he waited for the good news. General, suddenly, a guard rushed in. How is it? Is Mingzhe back? Hurry up and ask him to come in. The Wasteland Reclaimer General said. No, someone broke in. They broke through the defense line outside the planet and killed their way here. The guard said. What? The Wasteland Reclaimer General stood up from his seat and shouted, Who is it? Which faction is it? How many people are there? I don't know. There are only 5 of them, the guard said. 5? The Wasteland Reclaimer General's eyes flashed. He was surprised. He thought that the other generals had come to attack him. Let's go and have a look. The Wasteland Reclaimer General walked out. Boom! As soon as he flew up, he heard a terrifying explosion. The buildings around him exploded one after another. Screams of agony were heard as experts were killed one after another. Chapter 3346. The Wasteland Reclaimer General looked up and saw 5 figures standing high up in the sky. They were like gods of war, looking down. The 5 of them were Lu Ming, Yuan Song, and the other 3 divine lords. With the combat strength of the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion, how could the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion's defensive power stop them? They easily killed their way to the core of the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion. The Wasteland Reclaimer General soared into the sky, exuding a terrifying aura. His eyes were filled with anger as he stared at Lu Ming and the others. Who are you? Why are you attacking my Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion? The Wasteland Reclaimer General roared. The few Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion gave him a feeling of fear. If it wasn't for his fear of their strength, he would have attacked and killed Lu Ming and the others. You just sent someone to assassinate me not long ago. Why are you still asking me who I am? Lu Ming replied indifferently. You are Lu Ming from the Hidden Dragon Mansion? The Wasteland Reclaimer General exclaimed, his eyes filled with disbelief. He had sent Mingzhe. Mingzhe was the only divine lord in the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion other than him. The 3 black-robed men were even more unfathomable. They were definitely divine lords, and they weren't ordinary divine lords. With such a powerful force, wouldn't it be foolproof to assassinate Lu Ming? Why wasn't Lu Ming dead? Why was he here? The Wasteland Reclaimer General had a bad premonition in his heart. A chill shot up to his head. You finally remember? Let me tell you. I am here today to send you on your way. Lu Ming said coldly. Let's go. The Wasteland Reclaimer General turned around and left without hesitation. For Lu Ming to appear here, he knew that Ming Zhe and the others were most likely dead. Ming Zhe and the others were most likely dead, and Lu Ming had killed his way here. It was obvious that Lu Ming controlled a terrifying force that he couldn't deal with. Therefore, he turned around and left without hesitation. However, before he could fly far, he stopped. A figure had appeared in front of him, blocking his path of retreat. This figure was none other than Yuan Kong. His speed was shockingly fast, and he arrived before the Wasteland Reclaimer General despite moving later. Brat, I'll kill you. The Wasteland Reclaimer General went berserk. With a roar, he charged towards Lu Ming. However, 3 Dark Ape Battle Tribe members stepped out from Lu Ming's side, exuding a terrifying aura. The 3 Sir Gods struck at the same time, sending 3 huge fists towards the Wasteland Reclaimer General. The cultivation of the Wasteland Reclaimer General was also a first-level Divine Lord. His combat strength was slightly stronger than Ming Zhe's, but it was still not enough to face the 3 Dark Ape Fighting Tribe experts. After one move, the Wasteland Reclaimer General cried out in pain. His arm exploded, and cracks appeared on his body as he continuously coughed up blood. He roared and wanted to rush out from behind, but Ape Tsong casually slapped him and sent him flying, causing his injuries to worsen. Spare me, spare me. The Wasteland Reclaimer General was terrified, and he screamed crazily. Lu Ming's subordinates were too strong, especially Ape Kong. A casual slap from Ape Tsong was enough to suppress the Wasteland Reclaimer General. He knew that there was no way he could escape. If he forced himself, death would be the only way out. You want to kill me, and you ask me to spare you? What a joke. Lu Ming said coldly. Spare me, as long as you spare me, I'm willing to surrender and submit to you. I'll bring the entire Wasteland Reclaimer General's residence to you. The Wasteland Reclaimer General shouted. Bring the entire Wasteland Reclaimer General's residence to me? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He then waved his hand, signaling the Dark Ape Battle Tribe experts to stop. He was now in the period of development, and he was in need of manpower. It would be good if the Wasteland Reclaimer General surrendered. You can surrender if you want. Swear on your life origin that you will be loyal to me forever and never betray me, Lu Ming said coldly. Swear on your life origin? You're too much. The Wasteland Reclaimer General yelled. He was a Divine Lord. Once he swore on his life origin to be loyal to Lu Ming, he would be tied to Lu Ming for the rest of his life. It was hard for him to accept this. Oh, then go to hell. Lu Ming said indifferently. He was too lazy to talk nonsense with the Wasteland Reclaimer General. No, I agree, the Wasteland Reclaimer General yelled, almost scared to death. He originally wanted to negotiate with Lu Ming, but he didn't expect that Lu Ming would not play by the rules at all. He didn't give him a chance to negotiate at all. If he didn't agree, he would kill him. He was very sullen, but in the face of such a situation, he could only agree. Immediately, the Wasteland Reclaimer General swore on his life origin to be loyal to Lu Ming. Since the Wasteland Reclaimer General had submitted to Lu Ming, his subordinates naturally also submitted to Lu Ming, which meant that they were Lu Ming's men. Take a group of the strongest experts and follow me to the Hidden Dragon Star. Lu Ming ordered the Wasteland Reclaimer General. The Wasteland Reclaimer General naturally chose a group of elites and followed Lu Ming to the Hidden Dragon Star. A smile appeared on Lu Ming's face as he sighed in his heart. Finally, there were people that he could use. Previously, he had only brought a few hundred people from the Nether Ape Fighting Tribe. Although they were all experts, the number was too small. Although Huang Dong had submitted to him later, Huang Dong was only a soldier's mansion after all. The number of experts under him was limited. The only peak Divine King experts were the Xianming Three Elders. The number was still too small. As for the Wasteland Reclaimer General's Mansion, it was a general's mansion with many experts under its command. There were actually more than 10 peak Divine King realm existences. In addition, there were even more high-tier Divine Kings. With this, the number of people under Lu Ming's command skyrocketed, and the number of experts had also increased. There were more people that he could use. In the next period of time, he would completely integrate the territory under the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion and control it in his hands. In the faraway Taishu's sacred capital, in the Imperial Preceptor's mansion, the Imperial Preceptor was sitting high up in a large hall. Is there still no news from the assassin? The Imperial Preceptor asked with a gloomy face. The 3 Divine Lord Death Warriors that he had sent out were called the Assassins. Calculating the time, they should have returned long ago. However, they had yet to return and there was no news from them. This made the Imperial Preceptor feel uneasy and he was in a bad mood. There is still no news. We have sent people to contact them but there is no news at all. An old man replied. Damn it, what is going on? The Imperial Preceptor growled as the uneasiness in his heart grew. After thinking for a while, he said, Go to the Assassins and check their life spirit jade tokens. Remember, do it secretly and do not let anyone discover you. Come back as soon as possible. Yes. That old man cupped his fists and left the place in a flash. Lu Ming. The Imperial Preceptor growled as his eyes were filled with killing intent. You must have killed Fan-er. If I don't kill you, how can I face Fan-er? His voice was filled with killing intent and it echoed in the hall. The Imperial Preceptor did not wait for long. Half a day later, the white-haired old man returned to the hall. Chapter 3347. How is it? The Imperial Advisor asked as soon as the white-haired elder returned. The white-haired elder's expression was ugly as he cupped his fists and said, Imperial Advisor, the life spirit jade tablets of the 3 assassins have been shattered. What? The Imperial Advisor roared in disbelief. The shattering of the life spirit jade tablets meant that the 3 assassins had fallen. Those were 3 Divine Lord Assassins, and there was even a second-level Divine Lord Assassin among them. This was a terrifying force, yet all of them had fallen. What kind of experts were by Lu Ming's side? The Imperial Advisor's face was extremely gloomy. He knew that he had underestimated Lu Ming. Continue to send people. I don't believe that we can't kill that little bastard. The Imperial Advisor roared as his killing intent intensified. Imperial Advisor, you can't. The white-haired elder quickly advised. Why? The Imperial Advisor asked with red eyes. Now, the Thousand Saints Old Heavenly King and the people from the Thousand Saints Heavenly King residence, including the Second Prince's men, are watching us. If we send people to assassinate Lu Ming, they will easily find out. When that time comes, they will accuse the Imperial Advisor in front of the Sacred Emperor. Also, Lu Ming has the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe by his side. I suspect that there are many Divine Lord existences by Lu Ming's side. There might even be experts from the Thousand Saints Heavenly King residence by Lu Ming's side. Now that the assassination has failed, the next one will be much more difficult. It won't be that easy. The white-haired elder explained. Then what better way do you have? We can't possibly let that little bastard get away scot-free. I've already said that Lu Ming must die. The Imperial Advisor said coldly. That kid must be killed, but there's no need to rush. The white-haired elder said. Oh. What do you have in mind? The Imperial Advisor said. He was an overlord after all. He slowly calmed down and knew that it wasn't wise to send people now. The last time he was impulsive, he had charged into the Great Void Imperial Academy. This matter was reported to the Sacred Emperor by the Second Prince and he was severely punished. Now, everyone was watching him. If he had any weakness that could be used against him, he would probably be punished even more severely. However, he would not be satisfied if he did not kill Lu Ming. Grand Master, isn't Lu Ming in the Heavenly Chaos Galaxy? That place is very close to the battlefield between the Taishu dynasty and the barbarian tribe. If Lu Ming wants to develop and upgrade the level of the clan mansion, it's not enough to just exterminate the interstellar pirates. Later on, he will definitely join the battlefield and kill the barbarian tribe. Only then will he be able to accumulate merits faster. As long as he goes to the battlefield and joins the army, wouldn't it be easy to kill him? The white-haired old man said. That makes sense. The Imperial Preceptor's eyes suddenly lit up. As long as Lu Ming joined the army and joined the battlefield, he had many ways to get rid of Lu Ming without leaving any traces behind. Then let that brat live for a while longer. As long as he enters the battlefield, he will die. The Imperial Master said coldly. The Hidden Dragon Mansion entered a period of stable development. Lu Ming continued to send people to fight and exterminate the interstellar pirates in the surrounding areas to accumulate merits. As for Lu Ming, he and Autumn Moon cultivated under the primordial idol. At the same time, Lu Ming also allowed those who contributed to the war to cultivate under the primordial idol. Those who cultivated under the primordial idol were all stunned by the effect of the primordial idol. The effect was simply too amazing. These people had never seen such an effective primordial idol. Naturally, the news that Lu Ming had a primordial deity statue with heaven-defying effects spread. Immediately, Lu Ming's subordinates worked even harder to kill the interstellar pirates. They wanted to obtain the opportunity to cultivate under the primordial idol. Comprehending divine power, understanding the origin divine power factor, and awakening origin secret skills were all things regardless of one's cultivation level. Even divine lords had to constantly comprehend and cultivate. The attraction of the primordial idol was naturally great. As for Wan Shen, he did not accompany Lu Ming and the others to cultivate during this period. According to Wan Shen himself, his cultivation level had reached a bottleneck. He needed to go out to fight and find an opportunity to break through to the Divine Lord realm. Hence, Wan Shen followed the army to hunt the interstellar pirates. Just like that, time flew by. A few decades passed. In these years, Lu Ming's territory grew larger and larger. The number of experts under him also increased. Many of them heard that Lu Ming had a mysterious primordial idol and voluntarily came to join Lu Ming. Of course, those who wanted to join Lu Ming had to first enter the array set up by Blue Merchant and be tested. Those with ulterior motives were all chased out by Lu Ming. On this day, Lu Ming was cultivating when someone suddenly came to report that someone wanted to see Lu Ming. Who is it? Lu Ming asked. It seems to be someone from Lord Flowing Wind's residence. The subordinate reported. Lord Flowing Wind's residence. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. In the entire Heaven Chaos Starfield, there was only one marquee residence, and that was the Lord Flowing Wind's residence. It was a residence that had developed for countless years and was extremely powerful. The marquee residence was second only to the Heavenly Monarch residence. The lord of the marquee residence was known as the Marquis. He was already a high-ranking member of the Taishu dynasty. His overall strength was extremely powerful. Some of the top marquee residences were comparable to some of the weaker Heavenly Monarch residences. For example, the top few marquee residences were not weaker than the 9 extinction Heavenly Monarch residents. They only lacked merit. Once they accumulated enough merit, they could be promoted to a new Heavenly Monarch residence. The Lord Flowing Wind's residence was naturally not as powerful, but it was not to be underestimated. Why did the Lord Flowing Wind's residence suddenly send someone to see him? Let's go and have a look. Lu Ming walked outside and came to a large hall. This hall was specially used to receive guests. When Lu Ming arrived, he saw that a few people had already sat down. However, they were not sitting on the guest seats, but on the main seats. A middle-aged man in his 30s sat on the main seat. Beside him stood 2 old men. You are Lu Ming, the Lord of the Hidden Dragon residence? The middle-aged man sat on the main seat that belonged to Lu Ming. He looked down at Lu Ming and asked indifferently. That's right. Lu Ming smiled casually and walked to a seat on the side and sat down. How dare you? An old man beside the middle-aged man shouted coldly. He stared at Lu Ming and said, "The young marquis didn't ask you to sit and you dare to sit? Who gave you the courage to do so?" Lu Ming smiled. He was speechless. This was his territory, the Hidden Dragon Star. The other party came here for no reason. Not only did he sit on the main seat, but he was also scolded when he sat down himself. Wasn't he feeling too good about himself? "This is my territory, the Hidden Dragon Star, not the Lord Flowing Wind's residence," Lu Ming replied indifferently. So what? No matter where you are? How can your status be compared to the young marquis? You're just the lord of a military residence. When you see the young marquis, you must be respectful. Don't you understand? The old man shouted angrily. Chapter 33:48. You're willing to be a dog? I don't have the habit of doing that. Lu Ming was so angry that he laughed sarcastically. You are courting death, the old man shouted angrily. His eyes were cold as he exuded a powerful aura. This was the aura of a divine sovereign. Whoosh! Whoosh! The elder had just released his aura when a few figures dashed in from outside the main hall and stood beside Lu Ming. They were the experts of the Dark Ape fighting tribe. All right. At this moment, the middle-aged man in his 30s spoke. Then, the old man retracted his aura and stood behind the middle-aged man respectfully. You're Lu Ming, right? All right, I'll get straight to the point. I'll tell you the purpose of my visit this time. You've developed very quickly during this period of time and occupied many resource planets. You can excavate and mine these resource planets. At this point, the middle-aged man paused for a moment. Lu Ming didn't say anything and waited for the middle-aged man to continue. However, from now on, the Hidden Dragon Palace will have to pay tribute to the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion every year. The specific amount has been listed. Take a look. The middle-aged man waved his hand and a jade talisman flew towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming reached out to take it, revealing a sarcastic smile at the corners of his mouth. It turned out that the middle-aged man was here to ask him to pay tribute. However, Lu Ming had no intention of paying tribute. He squeezed the jade talisman with his fingers, and with a bang, the jade talisman was crushed. Lu Ming didn't even look at it because he didn't need to. Seeing that Lu Ming didn't even look at the jade talisman, the middle-aged man's face turned gloomy. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent as he said coldly, Lu Ming, what do you mean by this? What I mean is simple. I have no intention of paying tribute to anyone. So, please leave. Lu Ming waved his hand and asked them to leave. You don't want to pay tribute? He, Lu Ming, let me tell you. If you don't want to pay tribute to the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion, then get out of the Heavenly Chaos Star region. There's no place for you here. The middle-aged man shouted with a ferocious expression. No place for me? I'd like to see how you're going to make me lose my footing. Now, scram. Lu Ming coldly shouted. Brat, you're courting death. Beside the middle-aged man, the old man roared angrily. He took a step forward, causing the void to tremble violently. A violent aura erupted, causing the entire hall to tremble. A wave-like aura pressed down on Lu Ming, wanting to force Lu Ming to his knees. However, before his aura could touch Lu Ming, another aura rushed out from Lu Ming's side and blocked him. A powerhouse from the Dark Ape Battle Tribe appeared in front of Lu Ming. How dare you resist? You deserve to die. When the old man saw that his aura was blocked, he immediately became furious. His figure was like a big bird as he pounced towards Lu Ming. Make him lie down. Lu Ming said calmly. Yes. The Dark Ape Battle Tribe member revealed a ferocious expression, and the corners of his mouth curled into a sinister smile as he charged towards the old man. Boom! The two of them exchanged a blow, and violent energy waves spread out in all directions. However, another powerhouse from the Dark Ape Battle Tribe stepped out from Lu Ming's side and blocked the energy waves. How dare you! Kill! At this time, another old man behind the middle-aged man said coldly. He stepped out, and an extremely shocking aura erupted from him. This old man was also a divine lord. The middle-aged man had brought 2 divine lords with him, clearly wanting to intimidate Lu Ming. However, 2 divine lords were clearly not enough. Let me. Beside Lu Ming, a burly dark ape fighting tribe member walked out. He pressed his huge hand forward and a huge palm grabbed the elder's attack. The elder's attack was immediately dispersed by the huge palm. Second-level Divine Lord. The old man exclaimed, and his expression changed drastically. This time, the Dark Ape Battle Tribe member was a second-level Divine Lord. A second-level Divine Lord was much stronger than a first-level Divine Lord. Boom! The second-level Divine Lord Dark Ape Battle Tribe member stepped out, and the void shook violently as he launched an attack. Stop! This is a misunderstanding. The old man shouted, and he was afraid. He wanted to calm Lu Ming down and retreat first. However, Lu Ming sneered and could not be bothered with him. The second-level Divine Lord Dark Ape Battle Tribe member continued to attack. After a few moves, the old man could not hold on any longer. He was suppressed by the Dark Ape Battle Tribe member, and his body twitched as he lay on the ground, vomiting blood. And that old man who attacked first was also not much better. On the same level, he was forced back repeatedly. In the end, that second-level Divine Lord powerhouse went up and suppressed him with one move, making him also lie on the ground, vomiting large mouthfuls of blood. The 2 old men were suppressed one after another, and they vomited blood as they lay on the ground. You! The middle-aged man trembled with anger as he glared at Lu Ming. At the same time, he was secretly shocked. He did not expect Lu Ming to have such powerful people around him. There were even second-level Divine Lords. Now, get down here. Lu Ming stepped forward and walked toward the middle-aged man. Lu Ming, you. How dare you? Do you know who I am? I am the son of Marquis Lu Feng, and Marquis Lu Feng is my father. How dare you touch me? The middle-aged man shouted. Get down here. Lu Ming shouted coldly. His aura surged as he threw a palm at the middle-aged man. Lu Ming, you are known as a peerless genius. You are ranked 3rd in the new batch of the Great Void Imperial Family Sacred Academy. I would like to see what you are capable of. The middle-aged man shouted angrily as his aura surged. His body was covered in a blue radiance that turned into a blue battle blade and slashed at Lu Ming. The middle-aged man was called Lu Fengxiao. He was also a disciple of the Great Void Imperial Family Sacred Academy a few batches ago. He was also a peerless genius and was very powerful. Clang! The 2 of them exchanged blows. Lu Ming's body trembled as he took a step back. Peak of the 7th-level Divine King Realm. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. 3rd place? That's all there is to it. Kneel down. Lu Fengxiao's confidence was boosted when he saw Lu Ming take a step back. He continued to attack Lu Ming. That's all there is to it? Lu Ming's lips curled into a mocking smile. He had just casually thrown out a blow and didn't use much strength. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming activated the Battle Character Sutra to increase his combat strength by 4 times. At the same time, the 11 types of divine force in his body surged out rapidly. Then, Lu Ming activated the Heavenly Demon Golden Body and threw a palm at Lu Fengxiao. Boom! Lu Ming's palm landed on the opponent's blue battle blade. There was a loud boom. Lu Fengxiao's blue battle blade vibrated continuously before it exploded with a bang. The violent force made Lu Fengxiao's body tremble violently as he took a few steps back. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Your strength, Lu Fengxiao exclaimed. Although he wasn't a peerless genius, he was at the peak of the 7th layer of the Divine King realm. On the other hand, Lu Ming was only at the 5th layer of the Divine King realm. Lu Fengxiao was 2 layers higher than Lu Ming. However, he was forced to take a few steps back by Lu Ming. Trash. Lu Ming said coldly as he continued to attack. Not long after, Lu Fengxiao and the other 2 old men fell to the ground and vomited blood like dead dogs. Chapter 33-49. Lu Fengxiao lay on the ground and vomited blood. He was severely injured. Damn it, Lu Fengxiao roared in his heart and his eyes were filled with killing intent. However, he didn't dare to let Lu Ming see him, fearing that he would be killed by Lu Ming. Now, get out of my sight. Lu Ming said coldly. Let's go. Lu Fengxiao struggled to get up as he gritted his teeth and walked out in humiliation. The 2 old men quickly followed him. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared. Battle Ancestor, are you going to let them go just like that? They might take revenge. One of the Dark 8 battle race said. It's fine. If they want to take revenge, let them come. Lu Ming smiled. He didn't care about the Flowing Wind Marquee Palace. If they wanted to take revenge, they could mess up the situation in the Heavenly Chaos Star region, take advantage of the situation. Lu Ming's days went back to normal as he focused on cultivating. In the Flowing Wind Marquee Palace, the Flowing Wind Marquee was sitting in a large hall. Father, you must take revenge for me. That Lu Ming is too arrogant. I only went to ask him for a tribute and he beat me up like this, Lu Fengxiao cried as he complained. Bam! The Flowing Wind Marquee smashed the chair into pieces with his palm. Lu Ming, he thinks he can do whatever he wants just because he's talented. The Flowing Wind Marquee's face was dark as killing intent flashed in his eyes. Father, you must take revenge for me. Lu Fengxiao cried. Don't worry. The Hidden Dragon Palace doesn't need to exist anymore. Men. The Flowing Wind Marquee ordered. Instantly, a figure flashed out. Send men to destroy the Hidden Dragon Palace. The Flowing Wind Marquee ordered. Yes. The figure received the order. Just as he was about to leave and gather the experts to attack Lu Ming, a burly man who looked like a guard rushed into the main hall. Marquis, bad news. The bodyguard said anxiously. What happened? Why are you panicking? Marquis Flowing Wind asked coldly. My lord, I don't know what happened, but the 4 interstellar pirates of the Heavenly Chaos Starfield suddenly joined forces and attacked the mansions of the Taishu dynasty. They have already occupied one of the galaxies in the Lufeng Marquis residence. The guard reported. What? Marquis Flowing Wind was shocked as he stood up from his seat. The 4 great interstellar pirates teaming up. How is this possible? Why are they teaming up? Marquis Flowing Wind almost roared. There were countless interstellar pirates in the Heaven Chaos Starfield, but there were 4 groups of interstellar pirates who were known as the 4 Pirate Kings. They were the Green Hair Pirate Group, the 100 Beast Pirate Group, the Red Beard Pirate Group, and the Biggie Pirate Group. The 4 pirate groups dominated the Heavenly Chaos Star region and were extremely powerful. Even the Wind Marquee Mansion was wary of them. However, in the past, the 4 great interstellar pirate crews fought for themselves, each occupying a star sector. They had never cooperated before and would even attack each other to fight for territory and resources. Why would they join forces to attack them this time? Send out experts to defend with all your might. We must stop them. Marquis Flowing Wind shouted and gave the order. Faced with such a situation, he could no longer care about Lu Ming. He had to deal with the interstellar pirates first before dealing with Lu Ming. Not long after, a large number of experts from the Wind Marquee Mansion set off to the border. The Heavenly Chaos Starfield was already chaotic, and it had become even more chaotic during this period. The 4 great interstellar pirate crews had joined forces to attack the territories of the Taishu dynasty. For a time, the heavenly chaos starfield was embroiled in chaotic battles. Lu Ming and the others were also paying attention to this matter. Fortunately, Lu Ming's territory was in the east of the heavenly chaos starfield and was surrounded by other territories. The interstellar pirates would not be able to reach Lu Ming's territory for the time being, so Lu Ming's territory was relatively safe. On this day, Lu Ming gathered many experts for a meeting to discuss how to deal with the situation. At this time, the messenger from the Wind Marquis Mansion arrived at the Hidden Dragon Mansion and met with Lu Ming. The Wind Marquis Mansion has gathered all the territories in the Heavenly Chaos Starfield to gather at the Wind Marquis Mansion for a meeting. We will fight against the interstellar pirates together. This was the message brought by the messenger from the Wind Marquis Mansion. After the announcement, the messenger left, gathering everyone at the Wind Marquis Mansion. Everyone was shocked. Mansion Lord, I don't think it's appropriate. You offended Lu Feng Xiao last time. If you go to the Wind Marquis Mansion, you will be targeted. The Wasteland Reclaimer General suggested. Ever since he had joined Lu Ming, the Wasteland Reclaimer General had been thinking for Lu Ming. After all, they were now in the same boat. It's fine. I want to see what tricks they have up their sleeves. Lu Ming smiled. Moreover, the Taishu dynasty had a rule that the higher-level territories had the right to gather the lower-level territories to fight against the enemy. If he did not go, the enemy would have more reasons to target him. Gather everyone and set off, Lu Ming announced. Not long after, Lu Ming led a group of experts and set off for the Wind Marquis Mansion. When they arrived at the Wind Marquis Mansion, someone had arranged a place for them to stay for the time being. After all, they had to wait for the other territories to gather before they could discuss the details. Time flew, and half a month passed in the blink of an eye. At this time, someone came to inform Lu Ming and the others to discuss the matter. Lu Ming and the others followed the person who led the way. Not long after, they arrived at a huge open space. This open space was very spacious, and it was divided into different areas that represented different territories. Lu Ming and the others found the Hidden Dragon Mansion and sat down in that area. After that, more and more people came. They were all from the other territories, including the Army Mansion and the General's Mansion. There were at least 100 territories of different sizes. Every clan had brought a large number of experts with them. This area was instantly crowded with people. Relatively speaking, Lu Ming had brought the least number of people with him. The Wind Marquis is here. Suddenly, someone shouted. In the distance, a group of people flew over. There were many of them, and they looked majestic. The person leading the group was an old man who looked to be in his 60s. He was tall and sturdy, and his aura was like a mountain. He was the Wind Marquis, Wind Tiger. Beside Wind Tiger was a middle-aged man in his 30s. He was Wind Xiao. The people from the Wind Marquis Mansion landed in their exclusive area. That area was the highest location, and they could overlook everything. Greetings, Wind Marquis. Many people stood up and cupped their fists. Of course, Lu Ming sat there casually, and he had no intention of standing up. Please take a seat. The Wind Marquis waved his hand, and everyone sat down. At the same time, he glanced at Lu Ming, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. I'm sure everyone knows why I've gathered all of you here. The Wind Marquis paused for a while and said, the 4 pirate groups have joined forces to attack the territories of the Taishu dynasty. During this period, many territories have suffered. Chapter 3350. Hearing Flowing Wind Marquis's words, some people's faces darkened. These people had been attacked by the pirates recently and had suffered heavy losses. Some of them had even been wiped out by the pirates. Only the survivors had managed to escape to the Flowing Wind Marquis Palace. This time, I've gathered everyone together to unite the forces of the clan palace and fight against the 4 pirate groups. Flowing Wind Marquis said loudly. We're willing to listen to your orders. We'll do our best. Instantly, many people agreed with Flowing Wind Marquis. Does anyone have a different opinion? Or is anyone unwilling to help? Flowing Wind Marquis glanced around. No one said a word. According to the rules of the Taishu dynasty, the higher-ranked palace had the right to mobilize the lower-ranked palace to fight together. Naturally, no one dared to object. Lu Ming didn't say anything either. Since there are no objections, this matter is settled. Now, I will distribute the tasks. The various prefectures must do their jobs well. Do your best to stop the attack of the pirates and even destroy them. Flowing Wind Marquis said loudly. No one said anything. They were all waiting for Flowing Wind Marquis to continue. The next task allocation was the main point that everyone was concerned about. Flowing Wind Marquis started to assign the tasks. Soon, it was Lu Ming's turn. Hidden Dragon Palace, Meteor Palace, General Qian Yu's palace. You guys are in charge of guarding the Flying Joy system. Flowing Wind Marquis said. What? Flying Joy system? That's where the Red-Beard pirates are attacking. Aren't you sending us to our deaths by sending us there? A middle-aged man yelled. He was the palace lord of the Meteor Palace. At the same time, the other palace lords yelled as well. There was a giant teleportation array in the Flying Joy system. That was where the Red-Beard pirates were attacking. As long as they could take over the Flying Joy system, they could use the teleportation array to send their troops to attack the other palaces. This was the main direction of attack of the Red-Beard pirates. With just the few of them guarding there, they were undoubtedly courting death. What? You have a problem with that? You don't want to do your best? Flowing Wind Marquis scolded as his face darkened. My hidden dragon mansion is located in the hinterland, far away from the Flying Joy Galaxy. What do you mean by sending my hidden dragon mansion to the Flying Joy Galaxy to stop the Red-Beard pirates? Lu Ming sneered. The hidden dragon hall was located in the hinterland, and it would take a long time for the pirate group to reach there. However, the Flowing Wind Marquis had sent the hidden dragon hall there. It was obvious that he was targeting Lu Ming and wanted to borrow the strength of the Red-Beard pirate group to eliminate him. Before Lu Ming could say anything, the Meteor Mansion's mansion master shouted. Marquis, I know I offended the young Marquis in the past, but you can't target me like this. You want me to go against the Red-Beard pirates? That's suicide. The mansion master of Meteor Mansion shouted. How dare you! The Flowing Wind Marquis scolded as a terrifying aura emanated from his body. Everyone felt as if a huge rock was pressing down on them. The chief of the Meteor Mansion was the first to bear the brunt of the attack. His expression changed drastically as he retreated continuously, almost spitting out blood. Are you saying that I'm abusing my power to avenge a personal grudge, deliberately targeting you and sending you there? The Flowing Wind Marquis said coldly. The mansion master of Meteor Mansion did not say anything, but his expression told everyone that this was what he was thinking. Let me tell you, I, the Flowing Wind Tiger, will do things according to the rules. I will never use my power to avenge a personal grudge. This time, to deal with the 4 pirate group, we need all the manners to work together to have a chance of winning. If everyone has their own agenda and does not want to contribute, how can we be a match for the 4 pirate group? Alright, if anyone has any objections, we'll follow the rules. I'll report to the Sacred Dynasty and say that there are manners who are not willing to accept the assignment. The Flowing Wind Marquis said. The mansion master of Meteor Mansion's face turned ugly. Lu Ming sneered and did not say anything this time. The Flowing Wind Marquis was too hypocritical. Even if Lu Ming spoke, it would be useless and he would be targeted for not respecting the rules. The Qian Yu General's mansion will follow the Marquis's orders and do our best. The general of the Qian Yu General's mansion hurriedly said. He was also sent to go with Lu Ming. Alright, the tasks for each manners have been assigned. You can set off now and complete your tasks. Annihilate the 4 pirate group together. The Flowing Wind Marquis said loudly. Yes. Everyone accepted the order and left for the teleportation array, heading to the places that they were assigned to guard. Lu Ming also led a group of experts and left for the Flying Joy Galaxy. Not long after, all the manors left, leaving only the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion. Father, this is a smart move. The Hidden Dragon Mansion, the Meteor Mansion, all of them have to die for offending me. This time, we can borrow the strength of the Red Beard pirate group to annihilate them. Lu Fengxiao sneered. My plan is not only to kill them. With the combined strength of the Hidden Dragon Mansion and the Meteor Mansion, if we were to fight to the death, we would still be able to block the Red Beard Pirate Company for a couple of days. A couple of days would have passed by the time they are destroyed. We will take advantage of these days to destroy the big pirate company and break the 4 great pirate companies one by one. The Flowing Wind Marquis eyes shone with wisdom. Great, Father. This is great. Not only can we take the opportunity to annihilate the Hidden Dragon Mansion and the Meteor Mansion, but we can also use their strength to deal with the Red Beard Pirate Group. This is killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm impressed. Lu Fengxiao said with admiration. Ha ha ha, the Flowing Wind Marquis laughed proudly. The Flying Joy Galaxy was located in the central region of the Heaven Chaos Starfield. There was a huge teleportation array here, which made it a battleground for military forces. The Red Beard Pirate Group was not far away from this region. If they wanted to attack the various manors of the Taishu dynasty, they would have to seize the teleportation array first. Therefore, they would definitely attack this region. Not long later, Lu Ming, the Meteor Mansion, General Qian Yu's mansion, and the rest of the 8 mansions arrived and landed on a meteorite outside the Fei Le Galaxy. Everyone's here, right? Now, I'll announce your missions. General Qian Yu swept his gaze across the group like a boss. Indeed, there was only one general's mansion among the 8 manors. In terms of rank, General Qian Yu's mansion was the highest. Everyone looked at General Qian Yu. You guys, guard the planet on the left. General Qian Yu pointed at the 2 manors, then at Lu Ming and the Meteor Mansion's mansion master. Both of you, guard the planet in front. Remember, the teleportation array is on that planet. You must protect that planet even if you have to die. Do you understand? General Qian Yu said. Hee hee. Lu Ming laughed sarcastically. What are you laughing at? General Qian Yu glanced at Lu Ming coldly. You've given us all the dangerous missions. May I ask what mission you're going to take? Lu Ming asked. Chapter 3351. Facing Lu Ming's question, General Qian Yu's eyes became even colder. Are you doubting me? General Qian Yu said coldly. That's right. I am doubting you. Lu Ming said indifferently, not giving any face to General Qian Yu. General Qian Yu's face became even colder as he glanced at Lu Ming with a hint of killing intent. Let me tell you. What is the Qian Yu General Residence doing? Our Qian Yu General Residence is the strongest here. We should be in charge of the rear and control the situation. If one side can't hold on any longer, I will send reinforcements. Do you understand now? General Qian Yu said coldly. Guard the rear? I think you're trying to preserve your strength so that you can retreat as soon as the situation goes south. Am I right? Lu Ming sneered. How dare you? You're slandering us. General Qian Yu roared. Slandering? How about this? Let's exchange positions. I'll guard the rear and control the situation. It's the same. Lu Ming said. You? Hee hee. Controlling the situation requires the strongest strength. My Qian Yu Prefecture is a general residence. You're just a soldier residence. How dare you compete with me? Do you think that your Hidden Dragon residence is stronger than my Qian Yu General Residence? General Qian Yu said coldly. That's right. That's what I think. No. In fact, my Hidden Dragon residence is stronger than yours. Lu Ming said with a faint smile. Arrogant. Arrogant. General Qian Yu shouted angrily. His face was ferocious and murderous. "Since you've said so, I'll see how strong your hidden dragon residence is. Men, take him down." General Qian Yu waved his hand. Immediately, a few men stepped out from behind him and walked towards Lu Ming while emitting powerful auras. There were 3 of them and all of them were peak divine kings. "You've repeatedly contradicted the general. Kneel down and admit your mistake." "Kneel down." The 3 peak divine kings attacked Lu Ming. A terrifying pressure pressed down on Lu Ming. They wanted to force Lu Ming to his knees. However, Lu Ming was like a towering mountain, standing there motionlessly. "Make them kneel," Lu Ming said coldly and waved his hand. Boom! One of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe members stepped forward and stretched out a palm. Immediately, a huge palm condensed out of thin air and pressed towards the 3 peak divine kings. "Divine Lord," the 3 peak divine kings roared in fear. Then, with a plop, they could not resist at all. They were directly forced to kneel on the ground in front of Lu Ming. "Divine Lord, you actually have a Divine Lord realm powerhouse. No wonder you're so gutsy, not placing me in your eyes." General Qian Yu's pupils constricted, revealing a dignified expression. The expressions of the other palaces were grave as well. It was rare for a Divine Lord realm powerhouse to appear in a general's palace. Usually, only the general's palace would have a Divine Lord realm powerhouse. Of course, there were exceptions. "Are there any stronger ones?" "Send them out," Lu Ming said lightly. "Lu Ming, don't think that you can go against me just because you have a Divine Lord realm powerhouse. You're still too young." General Qian Yu shouted coldly and stepped forward. A violent aura rushed out from his body. When he stepped out, an old man beside him stepped out as well. Similarly, a terrifying aura erupted from him. Divine Lord Realm. General Qian Yu and the Elder were both Divine Lords. Apparently, General Qian Yu also had 2 Divine Lords. This was comparable to General Wasteland Reclaimer's palace. "You go and block that Divine Lord Realm powerhouse. Leave the rest to me." General Qian Yu transmitted his voice to the Elder. The Elder nodded and continued to rush toward the Dark Ape Battle Clan cultivator. General Qian Yu himself rushed towards Lu Ming. "Young man, you'd better keep a low profile and be obedient." General Qian Yu's eyes flashed coldly. His violent aura formed a storm and rushed towards Lu Ming. However, before the storm reached Lu Ming, an even more powerful aura rushed out from Lu Ming's side and destroyed General Qian Yu's aura. It was another Dark Ape Battle Tribe powerhouse. A Divine Lord. Another Divine Lord. General Qian Yu was shocked. He quickly retreated with a solemn face. The Elder from General Qian Yu's palace was also shocked. He quickly retreated and did not dare to stay. There are 2 Divine Lords. The people from the other palaces were also shocked. They did not expect Lu Ming to have 2 Divine Lords with him. It was no wonder that he did not take General Qian Yu seriously and was not afraid of General Qian Yu at all. Immediately, they were overjoyed. The stronger Lu Ming was, the higher their chances of resisting the Red-Beard pirates. "How is my strength now?" Lu Ming looked at General Qian Yu emotionlessly. "Humph." General Qian Yu snorted and did not speak. "Not talking? Hee, then I will guard the rear. How about that?" Lu Ming continued. "Wait a minute. Since you are so powerful, I think we can change our plan," General Qian Yu said. "How?" Lu Ming asked. "I did not know that you were so powerful before, so I misjudged you. Now that you are so powerful, we don't need to guard the rear. We can set up a defense on the planet with the teleportation array. With our strength, we can set up the array in advance and stop the Red-Beard pirates for a while. Once the Marquis Mansion has dealt with the enemy, they will come to our aid. What do you think?" General Qian Yu said. He saw that Lu Ming had 2 Divine Lords with him, so he did not dare to be arrogant. "No, I don't think this is a good idea. Lu Ming shook his head. Then what do you want to do? General Qian Yu asked. To put it bluntly, the Marquis Mansion did not send us here with good intentions. They want to use the power of the Red-Beard pirates to get rid of us, Lu Ming said. His words made the others' faces turn pale. They naturally knew what the Marquis Mansion was planning. But what could they do? Since that's the case, why should we risk our lives here? My plan is to wait for the Red-Beard pirates to attack, then retreat and give this place to the Red-Beard pirates. Lu Ming said with a smile. What? The others turned pale with fright. If they did not resist and retreated, wouldn't the Red-Beard pirates be able to use the teleportation array to kill their way to the hinterland of the Heaven Chaos Star area? You! How dare you! You are defecting to the enemy. You are committing a capital offense, General Qian Yu shouted. What do you mean by defecting to the enemy? As long as we destroy the 4 pirate groups, it will be a great achievement. How can I be guilty? Lu Ming sneered. Destroy the 4 pirate groups? Dream on. You lunatic. I'm going to report this to the Wind Marquis. Just wait for your punishment. General Qian Yu shouted and was about to leave with his men to report to the Marquis Mansion. Chapter 3352. General Qian Yu had also offended the Wind Marquis Palace in the past, but he had long regretted it and wanted to mend the relationship between the two families. Now, if he told the Wind Marquis about Lu Ming's idea, he might be able to mend the relationship between the two families and stop him from guarding the Flying Joy Galaxy. Therefore, he wanted to leave immediately. However, Lu Ming would not let him leave. Swoosh! Swoosh! In a flash, several Abyssal Ape Battle Tribe members surrounded the people from the Qian Yu army. What? You still want to use force? You have 2 divine emperors and I have 2 divine emperors. Do you think you can stop me? General Qian Yu sneered. I have 2 divine emperors? Who told you that? Did you imagine it yourself? Lu Ming sneered. He waved his hand and said, take them down. Boom! 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 The few Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members released their auras at the same time. The terrifying auras caused the entire galaxy to tremble. There were 4 of them and all of them were divine emperors. General Qian Yu's eyes widened in disbelief. He shouted, all of them are divine emperors. How is this possible? Kill! One of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members shouted and stepped forward to attack. The remaining 3 Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members did not move. They guarded the area to prevent others from escaping. Charge out! General Qian Yu shouted and led his men to charge out of the encirclement. A group of people joined forces and attacked the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe member. 2 first-layer divine emperors and a large group of high-level divine kings joined forces and their power was terrifying. However, the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe member punched out and the void exploded. The terrifying fist energy shattered the fist energy of General Qian Yu and the others. The terrifying fist energy did not stop there. It surged towards the Qian Yu's men like a raging wave. The bodies of those divine kings trembled violently, and they were sent flying backward like broken sacks. They fell to the ground and vomited blood. The Dark Ape Fighting Tribe member had shown mercy. Otherwise, these divine kings would have all died. General Qian Yu and the other Divine Lord Realm existence also trembled violently, retreating again and again. Second layer Divine Emperor. General Qian Yu shouted in shock. Kill! The Nether Ape continued to attack. His body swelled up as he used the Ghost Battle Art. His strength became even stronger, and every move he made caused the starry sky to move along with him. The meteorite under their feet directly exploded and turned into dust. The others retreated in a sorry state. Facing a second-level Divine Lord Dark Ape Battle Tribe member, General Qian Yu and General Qian Yu were no match for him. Even if they gave it their all, they could only retreat, completely suppressed. After a few moves, that elder was struck. His body flew backwards, coughing out large mouthfuls of blood. He was seriously injured. General Qian Yu was the only one left. He barely managed to block a few attacks, but he was also severely injured. His aura was weak, and he was held by the throat by the Dark Ape Battle Tribe's warrior. On the side, the other 6 people from the soldiers' residence were stunned. They stared at the scene in disbelief. General Qian Yu, a divine lord, was in a miserable state. He was like a dead dog with his throat gripped. His life was in the hands of someone else. What terrifying strength! They exclaimed in admiration. Their hearts were shaken endlessly, and they found it hard to calm down. The strength of Lu Ming's subordinates truly shocked them. Die! The second-level Divine Lord Dark Ape Battle Tribe member roared, revealing his murderous intent. General Qian Yu was scared out of his wits. He used all his strength to shout, "Spare me, spare me." Lu Ming waved his hands slightly, and the Dark Ape Battle Tribe member stopped. "I can spare you, but you have to swear on your life origin to be loyal to me. I don't want to repeat myself. If you don't agree, die." Lu Ming spoke in a firm tone. General Qian Yu was naturally unwilling. Swearing on his life origin was equivalent to losing his freedom. However, he did not dare to speak, fearing that he would be killed as soon as he spoke. "I'll give you 3 breaths of time." 3, 2, Lu Ming began to count down. "I agree." General Qian Yu shouted. Under such circumstances, he could only agree. There was no other way. General Qian Yu immediately swore on his life origin to be loyal to Lu Ming. Then, General Qian Yu's subordinate also swore on his life origin to be loyal to Lu Ming. In this way, Lu Ming had subdued the Qian Yu residence and the Wasteland Reclaimer residence, obtaining the experts of the 2 residents. "All of you, swear too." Afterward, Lu Ming stared at the other 6 soldiers' residences and said coldly, "We have to swear too. Lu Ming, we didn't offend you. Don't go too far." The 6 patriarchs immediately roared. "Since you know my plan, do you think you can still leave safely? If you don't swear on your life, I'll have to send you on your way." Lu Ming said coldly. "Lu Ming, I will never tell anyone about your plan." One of the residence lords said immediately. "I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. I'll give you 2 choices. 1, swear on your life origin to be loyal to me. 2, kill you immediately." Lu Ming said coldly. He then waved his hand. The Dark Ape Battle Tribe members flashed and surrounded the area. At the same time, the people from the Qian Yu residence also surrounded the 6 residence lords. "You also have 3 breaths of time. After 3 breaths of time, kill." Lu Ming said coldly. "Lu Ming, I'm from a large family in the holy capital. How dare you touch me?" a slightly younger residence lord shouted. This person came from a large family in the great illusionary divine capital. How could he surrender so easily? "Kill." Before that person could finish, Lu Ming gave the order. Boom! One of the Abyssal Ape Battle Clan members made his move. He punched out, and an incomparably huge fist filled the air as it shot towards the soldier's residence. "No, no, don't," the soldier from the soldier's mansion roared in terror. However, the result was already decided. He didn't have any divine lords under him. He couldn't withstand the attack of a divine lord. The fist crushed down. The residence lord and his subordinates exploded one after another. 1/3 of them died in an instant. The remaining people trembled and broke out in cold sweat. They were terrified. "Are you willing to surrender?" Lu Ming said coldly. "Yes, we're willing." The rest of the people shouted loudly, scrambling to be the first to swear. "What about you?" Lu Ming looked at the remaining 5 residence lords. "We're willing too." The 5 residence lords didn't dare to disagree and nodded quickly. The fate of the soldier's residence was right in front of him. Lu Ming was too decisive. If he did not agree, he would kill him regardless of the other party's identity. After everyone had sworn, Lu Ming smiled. This force was completely under his control. Let's go to the Flying Joy Galaxy and set up a trap. When the Red-Beard pirate team comes, we'll retreat immediately. Lu Ming ordered. Chapter 3353. General Qian Yu and the rest were puzzled as to why Lu Ming would do that. He had allowed the Red-Beard pirate team to enter the hinterland. Even though the residents of the Flowing Wind Marquis would be attacked from both sides, Lu Ming would have to bear the consequences and be punished if news of this were to spread to the holy capital. Unless Lu Ming could really wipe out the 4 pirate groups, but did Lu Ming have such strength? Despite their doubts, they could only listen to him obediently. Then, they began to make arrangements. After they were done, they waited quietly. They didn't have to wait for too long. In the depths of the starry sky, more than a dozen huge interstellar battleships flew towards them. Each battleship was extremely huge, spanning hundreds of thousands of miles. The largest battleship was even 1,000,000 miles long, like a small planet. The Red-Beard pirates were here. Kill. When the battleships approached the Flying Joy Galaxy, a loud roar came from the battleships. Countless figures flew out of the battleships and rushed towards the Flying Joy Galaxy. Retreat. Lu Ming ordered and retreated far away with his subordinates. In the command room of the largest battleship, a group of people could see what was happening outside through the screen in front of the battleship. The person standing at the front was a bearded man, but his beard was red and there was a horn on his head. This person was the leader of the Red-Beard pirates, known as Red-Beard. Why did the Taishu dynasty retreat? Someone was puzzled. Red-Beard frowned. He originally thought that there would be a fierce battle to take over the Flying Joy Galaxy, but he didn't expect the Taishu dynasty to retreat without any resistance. Leader, what should we do now? Someone asked Red-Beard. The Taishu dynasty is divided into different clans in the Heavenly Chaos Starfield. These clans are always suspicious of each other. They can't be united, so it's normal that they didn't try their best to defend. Don't worry about them. Send someone to guard the Flying Joy Galaxy. We'll go through the teleportation formation above and kill our way to the hinterland. Red-Beard was very smart and immediately saw through the trick. Yes. The subordinates responded. Next, the Red-Beard pirates sent a dozen battleships and a group of experts to guard the Flying Joy system. Red-Beard himself led a group of experts to the center of the Heaven Chaos Starfield through teleportation formations. Drifting Cloud Galaxy was located at the border of the Wind Marquis Mansion. During this period of time, this galaxy had become a battlefield. The 100 Beast Pirate Group and the Beag Pirate Group joined forces to attack the Drifting Cloud Star River. Marquis Flowing Wind personally led the army to fight against the 2 pirate groups. During this period of time, the 2 forces were locked in battle, and it was extremely bitter. Boom! Boom! In the vast starry sky, divine light flashed and collided continuously. Both sides had sent out huge battleships that were hundreds of thousands of kilometers long, or even millions of kilometers long. They constantly shot out beams of light across the starry sky to bombard the other side. The attacks from such battleships were extremely shocking. At the same time, countless figures were fighting in the starry sky, and people were dying constantly. Both sides threw in millions of troops and fought each other. There were casualties at every moment, and blood splattered across the starry sky. The Flowing Wind Marquis was sitting on a huge chariot, watching the battle with a gloomy face. During this period of time, the Flowing Wind Marquis mansion had suffered a great loss, which made him feel heartache. Fortunately, the Flowing Wind Marquis mansion had the upper hand overall. Divine monarchs, end the battle quickly. We must defeat the other party as soon as possible. The Flowing Wind Marquis ordered. He did not have much time left. There were 4 pirate groups on the other side. Although the other 2 pirate groups were blocked by his men, he knew that they could not hold on for long. Especially in the Flying Joy Galaxy. He estimated that Lu Ming and the others could only hold on for a few days at most. He had to defeat the 100 Beast Pirate Group and the Big Pirate Group within these few days. Yes. Someone around the Flowing Wind Marquee responded. Then, 5 to 6 figures rushed towards the battlefield at an extremely fast speed. They were all Divine Monarchs. The Divine Monarchs have taken action. You guys go and stop them. On the other side was the alliance of the 100 Beast Pirate Group and the Big Pirate Group. At this moment, a burly figure who was dozens of meters tall spoke. He was the leader of the 100 Beast Pirate Group. Kill. Instantly, the Divine Monarchs from the pirate group rushed out and fought with the Divine Monarchs of the Flowing Wind Marquee Mansion. The battle between the Divine Monarchs opened up another battlefield. As the power was too terrifying, it would drag others into it. Boom. Boom. A total of more than 10 Divine Monarchs clashed with each other. Every time they clashed, the starry sky would tremble and the surrounding meteorites would explode. A saber light flashed and a giant meteorite with a diameter of more than 100 million miles was split in half by the saber light. The broken part was neat and smooth. Then, a fist energy pierced through the void and blasted half of a giant planet. The battle between Divine Monarchs was too terrifying. If the planet did not have any defensive array, it would have exploded. It was not just a rumor that Divine Monarchs had the power to destroy planets. The battle went on for more than 100 rounds. In the end, the Flowing Wind Marquee Mansion gained the upper hand. Humph, Big, it seems like we have to do it ourselves. The 100 Beast Pirate Group looked at Big, the leader of the Big Pirate Group. The leader of the Big Pirate Group was a fat lady. She laughed weirdly and said, "All right, then let's do it ourselves. I want to test my strength." Then, she stepped out and the void trembled. At the same time, the 100 Beast Pirate Group stepped out and roared like wild beasts. Their roars shook the starry sky. Marquis, the 100 Beast Pirate Group and Big are going to do it themselves. What should we do? Someone from the Flowing Wind Marquee Mansion asked with a pale face. The 100 Beast Pirate Group and Big were notorious in the Heavenly Chaos Star Zone. They had killed many experts of the Taishu dynasty. When the two of them were mentioned, many people's faces would change. What are you afraid of? Today, I'll take their heads. The Flowing Wind Marquis snorted and stood up from the chariot. A terrifying aura spread out. Rumble. The chariot started and pulled the Flowing Wind Marquis toward the 100 Beast Pirate Group and Big. Flowing Wind Tiger, you're finally going to do it yourself. I've wanted to meet you for a long time. Let's see what you're capable of. 100 Beast Rend, kill. The 100 Beast Pirate Group roared and a divine light burst out from their bodies. Then, the divine light turned into giant wild beasts. All kinds of wild beasts had huge bodies and terrifying auras. They roared and charged toward the Flowing Wind Tiger. Child's play. The Flowing Wind Tiger shouted. He stood on the chariot and did not move. A tiger-headed saber appeared in his hand and he slashed out. Saber radiance burst out and filled the sky with pale saber radiance. It slashed toward the thousands of wild beasts. Chapter 3354. Flowing Wind Marquis swung his saber and thousands of saber lights slashed at the wild beasts. Peng peng peng, as the saber lights slashed, the wild beasts were slashed apart one by one. At this moment, Biggie also made her move. Although she was fat, she had boundless strength. She punched out and a fist force pierced through the starry sky towards Flowing Wind Marquis. Even the war chariot was engulfed by the fist force. She wanted to smash Flowing Wind Marquis and his war chariot into pieces. If this fist force landed on a planet with life, it would be able to blow it up. However, Flowing Wind Marquis slashed out with his saber and split the terrifying fist force into half. I heard that the leaders of the 4 pirate groups are all at the peak of the second layer Divine Lord realm. Today, I see that it's true. Since that's the case, I'll send you to hell. Flowing Wind Marquis said coldly with a ferocious look in his eyes. Then, he stepped out of the war chariot. The moment he stepped out of the war chariot, an even more terrifying aura burst out from his body. Under this aura, the starry sky shook violently and was filled with a terrifying pressure. Beside him, some small meteorite fragments that were originally floating in the air had silently turned into powder at this moment. Third layer Divine Lord Realm. 100 Beasts and Biggie whispered as they revealed a strong fighting spirit. If that's all you have, stay here today. Kill. Flowing Wind Marquis shouted coldly as he crossed the starry sky and charged towards 100 Beasts and Biggie. Flowing Wind Tiger, don't think that you're the only one who has reached the third layer Divine Lord Realm. Today, you'll be the one to die. Facing the third level Divine Lord Flowing Wind Tiger, the 100 Beasts had no fear at all. With a furious roar, its body swelled up rapidly, and thick fur grew all over its body. Finally, it turned into a giant beast that was several thousand meters tall. This was 100 Beast's true form. He was a strange giant beast that looked extremely ferocious. Roar. The giant beast roared and a terrifying aura burst out, setting off a storm in the universe. Third layer Divine Lord Realm. Flowing Wind Marquis exclaimed in shock. It was said that the leaders of the 4 pirate groups were at the peak of the second layer Divine Lord Realm. They were only a step away from the third layer Divine Lord Realm. Who would have thought that 100 Beasts was already at the third layer Divine Lord Realm? Gaga, at this moment, Biggie let out a strange laugh. His body became even fatter and his aura rapidly rose. Soon, he surpassed the limits of a second-level Divine Lord and reached another realm. Third-level Divine Lord. Biggie's cultivation had also reached third-level Divine Lord. At this moment, the Flowing Wind Marquis expression changed drastically. His face turned ghastly pale and filled with disbelief. If only one of the 100 Beasts had broken through, that would be fine. However, Biggie had also broken through. That was abnormal. Coupled with the fact that the 4 pirate groups had suddenly joined hands, Marquis Flowing Wind smelled the scent of a conspiracy. Flowing Wind Tiger, the one who will die today is you. Kill. 100 Beasts and Biggie shouted as they charged toward the Wind Marquis. Don't think that you can fight with me just because you broke through to third level Divine Lord. Let me tell you all, even in the same realm, combat power is also different. The Flowing Wind Marquis soon calmed down and spoke coldly. With the tiger-headed saber in his hand, he charged toward the 100 Beasts and Biggie. Boom! A terrifying collision erupted. The attacks of the 3 clashed together, stirring up a terrifying cosmic storm. Even the other experts in the Divine Lord Realm did not dare to get too close. They kept retreating, distancing themselves from the battlefield. Tiger God Slash. Every time the Flowing Wind Marquis slashed out, a ferocious tiger roar would be heard. The power of this move was terrifying. It was a terrifying secret skill. After a dozen moves, the Flowing Wind Marquis became more and more courageous. He actually managed to suppress the 100 Beasts and Biggie by himself. A long time ago, the Flowing Wind Tiger was the genius of the Great Void Imperial Family Saint Academy. He was qualified to establish his own family. After establishing his family in the Heavenly Chaos Star area, his strength continued to expand. He established the Marquis Mansion on his own. Naturally, he was powerful. The Marquis is invincible. The people of the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion shouted excitedly. On the other hand, the people of the pirate group looked pale. It seemed that the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion was about to win. However, at this moment, something strange happened. Kill. Suddenly, a deafening battle cry came from another direction. A large army came from that direction and charged toward the army of the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion. The leader of the army was a red-bearded man. This army was the Red-Beard Pirate Group. The Red-Beard Pirate Group? How is this possible? What's going on? Why is the Red-Beard Pirate Group here? The Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion was in chaos. They did not expect that a large army would suddenly appear behind them. Moreover, it was the powerful Red-Beard pirate group. Therefore, when the Red-Beard pirate group arrived, they were in a hurry and did not have time to set up a defensive array. In a moment, blood splattered everywhere. A large number of people of the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion were killed. Kill. Kill all the bastards of the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion. Kill them all. The people of the Red-Beard pirate group shouted excitedly. They waved their weapons and charged toward the people of the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion. On the other side, the people of the 100 Beasts pirate group and Biggie pirate group were excited when they saw the Red-Beard pirate group. They attacked the people of the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion together with the Red-Beard pirate group. The people of the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion had the upper hand. However, they were at a disadvantage now. They were in a passive position and many experts were killed. The leader of the Red-Beard pirate group, Red-Beard, was extremely powerful. He had reached the 3rd level of the Divine Lord realm. He held a huge sword in his hand. Every time he slashed out, a large number of experts would be killed. In the end, he reached the battlefield of the Divine Lords and killed the Divine Lord of the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion. Ah, damn it. The Flowing Wind Marquis roared in his heart. He was furious. Trash. A bunch of trash. Those bastards are all trash, the Flowing Wind Marquis roared. He was naturally scolding Lu Ming and the others. According to his plan, Lu Ming and the others would go to the Flying Joy Galaxy in advance and set up an array there. If they fought to the death, they would be able to hold off the Red-Beard pirate group for a few days. He could use these few days to defeat the 100 Beasts pirate group and the Biggie pirate group before dealing with the other pirate groups one by one. However, the Red-Beard pirate group had arrived so quickly. There was no way to resist them. "Ha, Flowing Wind Tiger, it seems like you are the one who will lose today." The 100 Beasts pirate group laughed. "You want to defeat me? Don't even think about it. You are the ones who will die today." The Flowing Wind Tiger roared. The aura on his body became even more terrifying. He used his trump card and launched a crazy attack. For a moment, the 100 Beasts pirate group and the Biggie pirate group were forced to retreat. They were no match for the Flowing Wind Tiger. Puff! The 100 Beasts pirate group was careless. The tiger head saber swept across his body and a huge wound appeared. Blood flowed out and the 100 Beasts pirate group cried out in pain. Chapter 3355. Red-Beard, come and help us. Let's get rid of the Flowing Wind Tiger first. Biyao shouted. The two of you are useless. Even with the two of you working together, you are still no match for the Flowing Wind Tiger. Red-Beard sneered, but he still charged at the Flowing Wind Tiger. Swoosh! Red-Beard slashed out with his sword. The giant sword flew across the sky and slashed at the Flowing Wind Tiger. Clang! The Flowing Wind Tiger blocked the attack with his saber. As the saber and sword clashed, a terrifying sound wave burst out. Saber radiance and sword chi covered a large area of the starry sky. They are all 3rd level Divine Lords. What is going on? The Flowing Wind Tiger was shocked. First, it was Biyao, Biggie and now Red-Beard. It was unbelievable that they had all reached the 3rd level Divine Lord realm. Could it be that the three of them had obtained some kind of supreme secret treasure at the same time? Go to hell, Flowing Wind Tiger. Kill! Biyao, Biggie and Red-Beard roared and charged at the Flowing Wind Tiger. You guys are not enough. The Flowing Wind Tiger roared and waved his saber. To be honest, the Flowing Wind Tiger was indeed powerful. He was able to withstand the attacks of the 3 experts. For a moment it was hard to tell who had the upper hand. However, the Flowing Wind Tiger was able to withstand the attacks, but his subordinates were unable to do so. Facing the attacks of the 3 pirate groups, the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion's men were forced to retreat. Damn it! Seeing this, the Flowing Wind Marquis was anxious and his heart was bleeding. He had accumulated these subordinates over a long period of time. He wanted to use them as a foundation to attack the Heavenly King Mansion in the future. Every death in battle was a great loss, not to mention the continuous deaths of so many people. Damn Lu Ming, damn Meteor Mansion, a bunch of trash. The Flowing Wind Tiger roared in his heart and blamed everything on Lu Ming and the others. Ha ha ha, Flowing Wind Tiger, aren't you in a hurry? Your subordinates are going to die soon. But don't worry, we will send them down to accompany them soon. Redbeard laughed and provoked the Flowing Wind Tiger, but his attacks became more violent. In the blink of an eye, the two sides had exchanged a few hundred moves. Don't think that you can kill me. Die, die. The Flowing Wind Tiger's eyes turned red and his body emitted a terrifying radiance. Blood Tiger Art, blood massacre the world. The Flowing Wind Tiger roared. At this moment, his entire body was emitting a dazzling blood-red light, especially the tiger-headed battle saber in his hand. It was a strange and dazzling red. Clang! The saber slashed out and collided with Redbeard's battle sword. Redbeard's body shook violently and was sent flying. Be careful, this guy is going all out. Redbeard exclaimed. If you force me to use the Blood Tiger Art, you will die. The Flowing Wind Tiger roared. The Blood Tiger Art was a desperate secret art that the Flowing Wind Tiger controlled. It wouldn't be used unless it was absolutely necessary because the after effects were severe. After using it, one's vitality would be greatly damaged, and it would take a long time and a large amount of natural treasures to recover. He would only use it when his life was on the line. Now was the time to go all out. Displaying the Blood Tiger Art, the Flowing Wind Tiger's strength skyrocketed. After repelling Redbeard, he changed direction and charged towards 100 beasts. The blood-red saber light illuminated the starry sky. 100 beasts was shocked and quickly retreated, but it was too late. One of his legs was cut off by the saber light and was sent flying far away. Then, the Flowing Wind Tiger charged towards Biggie. Biggie was no match for it and retreated with injuries. In the blink of an eye, the Flowing Wind Tiger had repelled and injured 3 powerhouses. Work together, don't split up. Redbeard roared and came to 100 beasts and Biggie's side. The 3 of them gathered together and fought the Flowing Wind Tiger together. However, the Flowing Wind Tiger was too strong in this state. Even if the 3 of them gathered together, they were still no match for it. They were forced into a disadvantageous position and kept retreating. Not long after, the 3 of them were injured. Retreat first, don't fight with him first. He used some kind of secret art and there will definitely be side effects. Let's avoid him for the time being and come back later. Redbeard transmitted his voice to 100 beasts and Biggie. Okay, let's retreat first. 100 beasts and Biggie nodded. It was unwise to fight the Flowing Wind Tiger to the death now. It was better to avoid him for the time being and come back after the Flowing Wind Tiger's secret art was over. Clang clang clang, they secretly transmitted their voice to their subordinates. Suddenly, the 3 pirate groups heard the sound of bells ringing. It was the signal to retreat. The 3 pirate groups gathered together and retreated. The forces of the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion were at a disadvantage and did not dare to chase after them. 100 beasts, Biggie, and Redbeard worked together to block a few of the Flowing Wind Tiger's attacks and retreated. The Flowing Wind Tiger wanted to chase after them, but he did not dare to do so. There was a time limit for the Blood Tiger Art. If he chased after them and could not kill them after the time was up, he would be the one to die. He was not confident and did not chase after them. He could only watch the 3 pirate groups disappear into the starry sky. Count the casualties. The Flowing Wind Tiger roared. Soon, the number of casualties was out and the Flowing Wind Tiger's eyes turned red. The Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion had suffered a great loss this time. They had lost 2 divine emperors, not to mention the divine kings. The loss was even more shocking. The Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion had suffered a great loss this time. It would take many years for them to recover. Isn't there someone secretly monitoring the Flying Joy Galaxy? Call them back. I want to know what happened in the Flying Joy Galaxy. The Flowing Wind Tiger roared. Not long after, a few people hurried over. These people were sent by the Flowing Wind Tiger to monitor Lu Ming and the others in the Flying Joy Galaxy. In the Flying Joy Galaxy, Lu Ming and the others had retreated and allowed the Red-Beard pirate group to enter the hinterland. They were shocked and wanted to report to the Flowing Wind Tiger. However, the Red-Beard pirate group was faster. They took a large teleportation formation and rushed to the Flowing Wind Marquee Mansion. The few people who were monitoring the situation rushed over. It was too late by the time the battle ended. Speak. What happened in the Flying Joy Galaxy? Why did the Red-Beard pirate group come here so quickly? Were the Hidden Dragon Mansion, Meteor Mansion and Thousand Moon Mansion destroyed? The Flowing Wind Tiger asked with a gloomy face. They betrayed us. The Hidden Dragon Mansion betrayed us. I don't know why, but the other manners obeyed the orders of the Hidden Dragon Mansion. They did not stop the Red-Beard pirate group and retreated. They let the Red-Beard pirate group in. One of the people reported. What? The Flowing Wind Tiger stood up and a violent aura erupted from his body. He was like a volcano, filled with killing intent. The Hidden Dragon Mansion and Lu Ming dared to betray me. They are courting death. The Flowing Wind Tiger let out a terrifying roar. His killing intent surged and his voice was extremely cold. Beside him, the others kept quiet out of fear. They did not dare to say a word. Men, gather the people of the Hidden Dragon Mansion and Meteor Mansion. If they don't obey, kill them. Chapter 3356. The Flowing Wind Tiger understood that he had fallen into Lu Ming's trap this time. The other party did not stop the Red-Beard pirate group on purpose and allowed them to enter, causing him to suffer heavy losses. His original intention was to make use of the Red-Beard pirate team to get rid of Lu Ming and the rest. In order to survive, Lu Ming and the rest would definitely fight with all their might. In this way, he could have the best of both worlds. On one hand, he could get rid of Lu Ming and the others, and on the other hand, he could delay the Red-Beard pirate group for a while. He never thought that Lu Ming would be so bold to let the Red-Beard pirate group in. Lu Ming, I will make sure you die without a burial place. The Flowing Wind Tiger said ferociously. Things went beyond the Flowing Wind Tiger's expectations. Not long after, Lu Ming and the others arrived without any resistance. The Flowing Wind Tiger sat on top of a huge square, looking down at Lu Ming. Below him were the various manor lords. This time, the Flowing Wind Tiger had not only summoned Lu Ming and the others back, but also the other manor lords. His goal was to kill Lu Ming in front of the other manor lords to establish his prestige. Lu Ming, how dare you betray the sacred dynasty and run away without a fight? What punishment do you think you deserve? The Flowing Wind Tiger sat on top, and his cold voice sounded. His eyes were fixed on Lu Ming, as if he wanted to grind Lu Ming's bones to dust. It was because of Lu Ming that he had suffered such a great loss. What punishment? Lu Ming sneered contemptuously. Flowing Wind Tiger, you sent us to guard the Flying Joy Star region and resist the Red-Beard pirate group. That's the same as sending us to our deaths. Do you think I'm stupid enough to die for nothing? So what if we die fighting for the sacred dynasty? You deserve to die 1,000 times for your actions. The Flowing Wind Tiger roared. Lu Ming, why aren't you kneeling down and admitting your guilt? Lu Fengxiao also shouted from the side. After I destroy the 4 pirate groups, I'll naturally be able to make up for my mistakes. You don't have to worry about it. Lu Ming placed his hands behind his back and spoke indifferently, not giving Tiger any face at all. Annihilate the 4 great pirate crews? Haha, you? What a joke. Arrogant and ignorant. This time, you must be severely punished. Men, arrest Lu Ming. The Flowing Wind Tiger roared. Immediately, the 9 nether experts flew towards Lu Ming with chains in their hands. Let's see who dares. A figure appeared in front of Lu Ming, emitting a powerful aura. It was General Qian Yu. This caused the other lords to be extremely shocked. General Qian Yu was actually willing to fight against the flowing wind tiger for Lu Ming. Was she crazy? Qian Yu, I heard that you've already sided with Lu Ming. Huh, you're a dignified monarch god, yet you've sided with a junior. It seems like he has some ability. Then, I'll take you down as well. The flowing wind tiger shouted coldly and waved his hand. Immediately, several monarch god experts stepped out, wanting to suppress General Qian Yu and capture Lu Ming. However, several dark ape fighting tribe members beside Lu Ming stepped out, blocking in front of Lu Ming like a mountain. They were naturally monarch god experts. The other lords sucked in a breath of cold air. Lu Ming actually had so many monarch god experts under him. It was really shocking. The flowing wind tiger's pupils shrank, then he sneered, so there are many experts. No wonder you can subdue Qian Yu. However, you want to fight against me with just these people? Wishful thinking. Today, I'll kill you with my own hands. The flowing wind tiger slowly got up, and a terrifying aura bloomed from his body. A third-level monarch god was too strong, much stronger than a first-level monarch god. He could kill an ordinary first-level monarch god with a wave of his hand. Although Lu Ming had a few monarch god experts under him, he did not put them in his eyes. Without an expert of the same level as him, everything was in vain. Father, don't kill him first. Cripple him. I want him to suffer a fate worse than death. How dare he treat me like that, Lu Fengxiao roared, his face twisted. Back then, he had been abused by Lu Ming. He wanted to make Lu Ming pay back 100-fold. Alright, I won't let him die so easily. The flowing wind tiger said coldly. Then, he stepped into the void, and his speed was shocking. In an instant, he was not far from Lu Ming, and a palm pressed down on Lu Ming. His speed was so fast that the other Divine Lord Realm Dark Ape Battle Clan members didn't even have time to react. However, even if they reacted, they would not be worried because Yuan Song was by Lu Ming's side. When the flowing wind tiger's palm was about to grab Lu Ming, a big furry hand reached out from Lu Ming's side and grabbed the flowing wind tiger's wrist. Then, the flowing wind tiger's hand could not move. No matter how much divine power the flowing wind tiger released, he could not move at all. You, the flowing wind tiger stared at Yuan Song, completely dumbfounded. His eyes were filled with disbelief. He was a level 3 divine lord and his strength was extremely strong. However, after his wrist was grabbed by Yuan Song, he could not move at all. He felt that Yuan Song's palm was like an iron hoop that was holding him tightly. What kind of strength was this? At the thought of this, his heart trembled. However, the others did not know the inside story. When they saw the flowing wind tiger frozen in place, they were curious. This is strange. Why isn't the Marquis continuing to attack? Why is he letting the Dark Ape fighting tribe member grab his wrist? Yeah, this is strange. Some people were discussing. Father, go and cripple that kid. Look, that kid is scared silly. At this moment, Lu Fengxiao was still shouting. The flowing wind tiger was about to cry. He turned around and roared at Lu Fengxiao, "Shut up." Lu Fengxiao's expression froze. He looked at the flowing wind tiger in a daze. He did not understand why the flowing wind tiger was shouting at him. The others had similar expressions. They were also dumbfounded. After shouting at Lu Fengxiao, the flowing wind tiger turned around and looked at Yuan Kong. He squeezed out a smile that was uglier than crying and said, "Say. Senior, misunderstood." Ah. Before the flowing wind tiger could finish his sentence, he let out a blood-curdling scream. This was because Yuan Song suddenly exerted force and broke the bones in his wrist. Then, Yuan Song swung the flowing wind tiger and smashed it heavily on the ground. Boom! The ground shook violently and exploded continuously. Cracks that were tens of millions of miles long appeared on the ground like a spider web. Fortunately, this was only a resource planet and not a planet with life. Otherwise, it would cause a disaster. The flowing wind tiger let out a blood-curdling scream and was embedded in the ground. His body twitched and he vomited blood. It was a horrible sight. Silence. The scene fell into a dead silence. Everyone widened their eyes and looked at Yuan Song in a daze. Then, they looked at the flowing wind tiger who was like a dead dog. They could not believe what they had seen. Some of them thought that they were dreaming. The flowing wind tiger, a marquis of the Marquis Mansion and a third-level divine lord, was beaten up by Yuan Kong. How could this be possible? How powerful was this Yuan Song? At the thought of this, many people gasped. Even the master of the Meteor Mansion, General Qianyu, and the others who had surrendered to Lu Ming were dumbstruck. Chapter 3357. Previously, Lu Ming had only sent out a level 2 divine lord from the Dark Ape fighting tribe to suppress General Qianyu and the others. They had thought that a level 2 divine lord was the strongest among Lu Ming's subordinates. However, now that Yuan Song had taken action, they knew that they had underestimated Lu Ming. General Qianyu had no idea why, but he suddenly felt refreshed. Initially, he had been forced by Lu Ming to swear on his life source that he would be loyal to Lu Ming forever. He felt indignant. Now that he saw Yuan Song taking action, his indignance disappeared without a trace. Even Lord Flowing Wind was in such a miserable state. Wasn't it normal for him to be suppressed? Among the crowd, Lu Fengxiao was the most frightened. His eyes almost popped out of their sockets as he could not believe what had happened. His body was trembling in fear. Swoosh! At this moment, Lu Ming stepped out and walked towards Lu Fengxiao. You! What are you trying to do? Lu Fengxiao screamed in fear. What am I trying to do? Of course, I'm going to kill you. Lu Ming said indifferently. Lu Fengxiao hated him deeply. Even if someone like him wanted to surrender, Lu Ming would reject him. Only by killing him could he get rid of all future troubles. Lu Fengxiao was shocked. He could not help but retreat as his face turned pale. Men, block him and protect me. Lu Fengxiao screamed. However, no one from the Lord Flowing Wind Mansion made a move. None of the remaining divine lords made a move as well. Yuan Song was too strong. He had suppressed Lord Flowing Wind with just a lift of his hand. If they were to make a move, they would definitely die. Who would be willing to save Lu Fengxiao? At the sight of this, Lu Fengxiao screamed in fright. He retreated frantically, wanting to escape. However, his speed was much slower than Lu Ming's. Lu Ming's figure flashed a few times and he caught up with Lu Fengxiao. He condensed his divine power into a long spear and pressed it down. The spear radiance was like a mountain as it pressed down on Lu Fengxiao. Lu Fengxiao could not block it at all. He was pressed to the ground by the spear radiance and vomited blood. No, let us go. We're willing to surrender. At this moment, Tiger Flowing Wind roared. At the moment of life and death, he chose to surrender. He roared in his heart. He planned to surrender to Lu Ming first and stabilize Lu Ming. Then, he would go to the Great Illusionary Divine Capital to seek reinforcements and get rid of Lu Ming. Everyone else in the Marquis residence can surrender, but you and your son can't. Send him on his way first. Lu Ming coldly spoke. His long spear trembled as it pierced out. Puchi. Lu Fengxiao's forehead was pierced by the spear light, nailing him to the ground. No, the flowing wind tiger roared furiously. The divine power in his body burned fiercely. His body revealed a trace of dazzling red. He was going all out, burning everything he had to kill Lu Ming. But, boom! When the ape stomped down, the aura that the flowing wind tiger had just released was like a punctured balloon, disappearing without a trace. He screamed miserably. His entire body emitted crackling sounds. It was unknown just how many of his bones were broken. Many people sighed. Yuan Song was too strong. No matter how much the flowing wind tiger exploded, it was useless. At this moment, the flowing wind tiger was already half dead. Get rid of him, Lu Ming ordered. Boom! As soon as his voice fell, Yuan Song threw out a punch. The ground shook violently. The flowing wind tiger's entire body exploded and turned into ashes. Many people gasped. The overlord of the heavenly chaos star region, a marquis of a generation, was killed just like that. In the marquis residence, some people's eyes flickered. They slowly retreated, wanting to leave this place. Did I say you can leave? Lu Ming's eyes were like lightning as he glanced at those people. Those people's bodies suddenly stiffened, not daring to move. Lu Ming, no, Mansion Master Lu, this has nothing to do with us. From the beginning to the end, it was the flowing wind tiger and his son who targeted you. A divine lord from the marquis residence said. So, you're still alive, but it doesn't mean you can leave. Lu Ming said indifferently. Then what do you want? The divine lord asked. It's simple. Swear on your life origin to be loyal to me. Lu Ming said. Swear on your life origin? Everyone's face changed drastically. That's right. I'll say it now. All of you have to swear on your life origin to be loyal to me. Those who refuse will be killed. Lu Ming said with murderous intent. A terrifying aura exploded from Yuan Song's body. It was like a vast heavenly might that shrouded the starry sky and everyone. Everyone broke out in cold sweat. They had no doubt that if they didn't agree, they would be attacked by Yuan Kong. No one would be able to survive Yuan Song's attack. They could either die or surrender. Needless to say, everyone chose to surrender. In the end, everyone swore on their life origin to be loyal to Lu Ming. In this way, all the prefectures in the heavenly chaos star region were under Lu Ming's control. Although Lu Ming was still in the soldier's residence, the strength and territory under his control were comparable to the marquis residence. Mansion Master, what should we do next? The 4 great pirate groups will attack soon. Someone asked. It's simple. Remove all the defenses in other places. Then spread the news that we have internal strife and the windy tiger is injured. Wait for the 4 pirate groups to take the bait. Lu Ming said. The plan was simple. Wait for the 4 pirate groups to join forces and kill them all at once. Yes. Everyone bowed and accepted the order. With Yuan Song around, they were very confident that the 4 pirate groups would be courting death if they attacked. Immediately, everyone began to make arrangements. Some mansion masters returned to the places they were guarding and brought the experts of the various prefectures to Lu Ming's side. The forces of the various prefectures gathered together. Then, they spread the news that they had internal strife and the windy tiger was injured. Sure enough, when the 4 pirate groups heard the news, they all gathered together and charged toward Lu Ming's side aggressively. Nearly 100 huge battleships flew over from the starry sky in the distance, making violent roars. Nearly 100 huge battleships gave off a strong pressure. Set up the formation. Lu Ming's voice came from the crowd. Immediately, with him as the center, the people of the various prefectures worked together to set up a huge defensive formation. In one of the battleships, the leaders of the 4 pirate groups gathered and watched from afar. After seeing Lu Ming and the others set up the formation, Redbeard sneered, "Do you think you can stop us by setting up a defensive formation? How naive. Attack the battleships and break their formation. Attack." The other leaders gave their orders one after another. Buzz. Hundreds of battleships vibrated slightly and emitted bright runes. Then, beams of light burst out and blasted toward Lu Ming and the others. However, the formation that Lu Ming and the others set up with all their strength had amazing defensive power. Layers of light shields shrouded them, and the beams of light were all blocked by the light shields. The light shields kept vibrating but were not broken. Chapter 33:58. Continue to attack. Redbeard roared. At the same time, 100 Beasts, Biggie, and the green-haired pirates gave the order to continue the attack. Suddenly, there was an earth-shattering roar. A battleship on their right suddenly exploded like a dazzling firework. The pirates in the battleship screamed and turned into ashes in the raging fire. The leaders of the 4 major pirate groups were shocked. What's going on? Redbeard roared because the battleship that exploded was his. We're under attack. We're under attack. Someone shouted. Boom. In the next moment, another battleship exploded. Flames shot out in all directions, illuminating the starry sky as if a planet had exploded. Figures flew out of the battleship, but before they could fly far, they were turned into ashes by the destructive power. There were countless interstellar pirates in the battleship, and there was no lack of powerhouses among them. However, all of them died in a moment. In the distant starry sky, above Lu Ming's head, a large breath shadow stone was floating, recording all of this. These were all credits that he could not miss out on. Who is it? This time, it was 100 Beasts' turn to roar because the battleship that exploded just now was his. Someone walked out from the flames. Someone shouted. The members of the 4 great pirate groups looked over and saw a tall and sturdy figure appear from the warship that had just exploded. It was a huge ape with a wide mouth and fangs. Its aura was violent and deep like the sea. This ape was naturally the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe, and it was the Grand Elder, Ape Kong. Ape Song used the Phantom Battle art and turned into a giant ape. He directly charged into the battleships of the 4 major pirate groups and exploded 2 battleships in a row. Fire, kill him. Redbeard roared. Some battleships turned around with runes surrounding them, ready to attack Ape Kong. However, Ape Song's figure flashed and disappeared from the spot. Not good. Redbeard and the others roared in their hearts. In the next moment, another battleship exploded. It was obvious that this battleship was destroyed by Ape Kong. Boom. Boom. Next, the sound of explosions continued to be heard. Battleships exploded one after another like dazzling fireworks. Not long after, more than a dozen battleships exploded. Retreat, battleships, retreat. Everyone, surround and kill him. Redbeard, 100 Beasts, and the others roared. Rumble. The remaining battleships quickly retreated. Then, numerous figures flew out from the battleships. They wanted to surround and kill Yuan Song with their numbers. This time, the 4 great pirate groups joining hands. Experts were as plentiful as clouds. Even Divine Lord Realm powerhouses had more than a dozen. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, the rainbow light that filled the sky traversed the universe and charged toward Ape Kong. Not only that, but the leaders of the 4 pirate groups also made their moves. They flew out of their warships and charged towards Yuan Kong. Surround him. I want to grind his bones to dust. Redbeard roared. They were very confident. This time, the leaders of the 4 great pirate groups all obtained fortuitous encounters, their cultivation breaking through, all reaching 3rd level Divine Lord. They were confident that they were invincible in the heavenly chaos starfield. Seeing the densely packed figures, the ape stopped instead. Very soon, the densely packed figures surrounded Yuan Kong, attacked together and destroy him. Redbeard roared. Kill! Kill! Countless people roared and attacked. Countless dazzling lights shone and blasted towards Yuan Kong. At this moment, Yuan Song's figure flashed like a phantom, dodging the countless attacks and killing to the side. Suddenly, screams filled the sky and blood splattered everywhere. Large numbers of interstellar pirates were killed. Yuan Song was too strong. A casual punch from him would create a huge fist that crushed the numerous pirates. A casual punch could blow up a planet. For these pirates to gather together was simply courting death. Large numbers of pirates exploded continuously. The entire starfield was filled with the smell of blood. No matter what cultivation level, be it Divine King Realm or Divine Lord Realm, the result was the same. Crushed by the fist, dead. How can this be? Seeing this scene, the leaders of the 4 great pirate groups trembled non-stop. Their faces were pale and they were in disbelief. A Divine Lord Realm powerhouse was killed by a single punch without the slightest strength to resist. What kind of strength was this? Such strength was not something that they could resist. Retreat. The leaders of the 4 great pirate groups wanted to retreat. They roared and retreated frantically. But how could Yuan Song let them retreat? Yuan Song's figure flashed and disappeared from the spot. The next moment, he appeared in front of the 4 leaders. Redbeard and the other 3 quickly stopped, their faces pale. Since you're here, stay. Yuan Song said indifferently. It's not that easy to keep us here. Let's attack together and kill him. Attack. Redbeard and the others shouted, revealing a ferocious look. Their powerful strength erupted. All of them had the cultivation level of a Divine Lord Realm. The 4 of them joined forces and attacked with their strongest move. 4 terrifying attacks blasted towards Yuan Song, wanting to blow him up. However, Yuan Song's palm was like a knife, slashing out horizontally. A jet-black divine light burst out and broke the 4's attack. Insignificant skill. Yuan Song said indifferently. How can this be? Above Divine Lord Realm. Redbeard and the other 3 were shocked beyond words. To be able to block their attack so easily, it was definitely not a Divine Lord Realm 3rd level, but a Divine Lord Realm 4th level or even higher. Such an existence was definitely not something that they could deal with. Split up. Redbeard roared and turned into a streak of rainbow light, rushing in a direction. The other 3 did the same. The 4 of them fled in 4 different directions. As long as one of them could escape, that would be good. As for who could escape, that would depend on luck. You want to escape from my hands? How naive. Yuan Song said coldly. Then, he stretched out his hand and an incomparably huge palm extended forward, grabbing at Redbeard. Its speed was extremely fast and enveloped Redbeard. Redbeard roared in horror and attacked with all his might, wanting to block it. However, it was to no avail. The palm pressed down and Redbeard screamed tragically. His body exploded and his spirit was destroyed. At the same time that he killed Redbeard, Yuan Song took a step out. In the starry sky, a huge foot suddenly appeared and stomped towards Greenhair. Greenhair also followed in Redbeard's footsteps and was trampled to death by Yuan Kong. A Divine Lord Realm 3rd level had no resistance in front of Yuan Kong. After killing 2 pirate group leaders in a row, Yuan Song did not stop. His figure flashed and appeared in front of Biggie. With a punch, Biggie died. 3 of the 4 pirate group leaders were dead in the blink of an eye. Only Biyao was left. I surrender, Biyao was almost scared to death. He roared and planned to surrender. He knew that he would definitely not be able to escape and would be killed by Yuan Kong. You refuse to surrender. Everyone, attack and annihilate the interstellar pirates. Lu Ming said coldly with a cold gaze. Chapter 3359. Lu Ming rejected the beast's surrender. These interstellar pirates had committed all kinds of crimes. Their hands were stained with blood. None of them were innocent and deserved to be killed. Moreover, killing these pirates would give him merit points. Why would Lu Ming let them go? Lu Ming gave the order for the entire army to attack. Kill. The battle cries were like a tsunami. Lu Ming's battleships flew out one after another and attacked the pirates' battleships. Yuan Song had also made his move. With a punch, the beasts' huge bodies exploded into pieces. Blood splattered across the starry sky. After killing the beasts, dense runes appeared on Yuan Song's body. It was a teleportation array. Divine Lord Realm powerhouses were all able to carve a transmission grand array on their bodies and could directly carry out transmission. With a swoosh, Yuan Song's figure disappeared. In the next moment, he appeared behind the interstellar pirates' battleships and blocked their escape route. Destroy them. Yuan Song shouted coldly and continuously punched with both fists. Huge fist prints blasted towards the battleships. Every time a fist print crushed a battleship would explode. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 battleships exploded. Yuan Song, have mercy. Only kill the pirates. Don't destroy the battleships. Lu Ming hurriedly transmitted his voice to Yuan Kong. Each of these battleships was at least a few 100,000 miles long. The bigger ones were millions of miles long. Countless materials and resources were needed to build one. It would be a pity to destroy it just like that. Lu Ming felt the pinch. If he wanted to develop in the future, these battleships would be useful. Yuan Song nodded and stopped being so violent. He only blocked the battleships and did not let them escape. After a while, Lu Ming led the army over and surrounded the battleships. Kill them. Lu Ming waved his hand and a large number of experts flew out of the battleships and charged into the enemy's battleships. They broke through the battleships' defenses and rushed in. A huge battle began inside the battleships. After being killed by Yuan Song, many experts from the 4 pirate crews died in battle. Their strength was greatly reduced. On Lu Ming's side, there were many experts. There were more than 10 divine lords from the Nether Ape fighting clan that Lu Ming had brought with him. In addition to the experts from the Lufeng Marquis residence and the other generals' residences, there were more than 20 divine lords. They had completely suppressed the interstellar pirates. Among the interstellar pirates, every battleship had an intense battle. However, Lu Ming's side had the upper hand. The ape did not continue to attack. He just stood in the starry sky, his eyes like lightning, as if he was scanning something. You want to leave? Come out. Suddenly, Yuan Song let out a loud roar and punched out at a certain spot in the air. The void began to tremble violently as a huge explosion occurred. It was an interstellar pirate with runes all over his body. Clearly, he was an interstellar pirate at the Divine Lord realm. He had wanted to activate the teleportation array on his body to escape but had been forced out by Yuan Kong. At this moment, the interstellar pirate's face was filled with terror. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood and retreated rapidly. However, in front of the ape, he was as weak as a baby. Yuan Song's fist energy exploded and killed the Divine Lord Interstellar Pirate. After killing the Interstellar Pirate, Yuan Song continued to scan the surroundings. He was guarding this place to prevent the interstellar pirates from escaping. Soon after, Yuan Song attacked again. He punched the void and killed another interstellar pirate of the interstellar pirates who wanted to escape. There was no doubt about the outcome of this battle with the help of a terrifying existence like Yuan Kong. In front of such an existence, the number of people was meaningless. The outcome was already decided. The battle lasted for half a day. Half a day later, the battle between the battleships slowly came to a stop. Most of the interstellar pirates had been killed. Only a small number of them were still putting up a fight. However, it did not affect the overall situation. After another half a day, all the battleships calmed down. The governors and divine lords of the various prefectures came to report the news to Lu Ming. They were destroyed. The 4 interstellar pirate crews were all destroyed in this battle. The governors of the various prefectures were shocked. The 4 interstellar pirate crews had dominated the heavenly chaos starfield for countless years. No one had expected that they would all be annihilated this time. Of course, this was also because the 4 interstellar pirate crews had joined forces to attack. That was why Lu Ming had such an opportunity. In the past, the 4 interstellar pirate crews had roamed everywhere and did not have a fixed residence. Even if stronger overlords came, it would be difficult to destroy them. That was also the reason why the 4 interstellar pirate crews could survive for so long. Governor, we caught a few barbarians. At this time, a few Dark Ape Battle Tribe members came with a few burly creatures in their hands. Lu Ming had seen these creatures in the Black Jade gold mine before. They were the barbarians who had been fighting against the Taishu dynasty all year round. Barbarians? Lu Ming's expression changed. He was somewhat shocked. Why would the barbarians be in the interstellar pirate cruise battleships? This time, the 4 interstellar pirate crews suddenly joined forces to attack the prefectures of the Taishu dynasty, and the 4 leaders' cultivation levels have broken through. Is it the barbarians behind this? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This was very likely. Otherwise, it would be difficult to explain all of this. This time, is it the barbarians who pushed the interstellar pirates to attack us? Lu Ming glanced at the barbarians and asked. Yes, so what if you know? Let me tell you, the Taishu dynasty will be destroyed by the barbarians sooner or later. You can wait for your death. One of the barbarians said coldly and looked at Lu Ming ferociously. Just as I thought. Lu Ming's eyes moved. What was the barbarians' purpose in doing this? Governor, what should we do with these barbarians? The Dark Ape Battle Tribe member asked. Of course, we'll kill them. Lu Ming waved his hand. After killing the barbarians, they began to count the casualties on the battlefield. Although they had killed all the interstellar pirates in the battle just now, they had also suffered some casualties. However, it was still within Lu Ming's range of acceptance. The Dark Ape Battle Tribe did not suffer any losses. Most of the casualties were from the other prefectures. After tidying up, they boarded the battleship and returned to the Hidden Dragon Star. After that, Lu Ming began to merge with the other prefectures. Some of the core elites of the various prefectures were sent to the Hidden Dragon Star. Of course, they also had to send people to guard the planets that they had conquered. After this battle, Lu Ming's strength skyrocketed. More than half of the Heavenly Chaos Starfield's territory was occupied by Lu Ming. The number of elites under his command had also increased. As he consolidated the forces under his command, he sent people to the Taishu's sacred capital to report this merit. 2 months later, the order from the military council was issued. Lu Ming had made a great contribution this time. He had wiped out the 4 interstellar pirates. His merit was enough to upgrade the soldiers' residence to the general's residence and appoint Lu Ming as the Hidden Dragon General. After upgrading the soldiers' residence to the general's residence, Lu Ming could openly recruit people. Chapter 3360. Before Lu Ming started to recruit people, he had selected a group of experts to cultivate under the primordial idol statue. As soon as these experts started cultivating, they were shocked by the effects of the primordial idol statue. After they finished cultivating, the news about the primordial idol statue naturally spread. Not only in the Heaven Chaos Starfield, but also in the surrounding starfields, everyone knew that the Hidden Dragon General's residence had a primordial idol statue with mysterious effects. Cultivating under the primordial idol statue was extremely effective. When the news of the Hidden Dragon General's residence's recruitment spread, a large number of people naturally came to join them. Of course, those who came to join couldn't make others swear on their life source. That wasn't realistic. Even if the primordial idol statue attracted them, not many people would join them. Of course, those who wanted to join had to be tested by the formation set up by the Blue Merchant. This was to prevent Lu Ming's enemies from sending spies to join them. For example, the Imperial Advisor's residence and the Lan family would most likely send people to infiltrate the Hidden Dragon General's residence. With this formation, they could eliminate those with ulterior motives. At the same time, Lu Ming asked his subordinates if they knew any experts and recommended them to him. In fact, in the Heaven Chaos Starfield, apart from the mansion masters, most of the experts who joined the mansion were independent cultivators or had small factions behind them. Naturally, these people knew many independent cultivators. After these people's introductions, many experts came to join Lu Ming. Of course, they mainly came for the primordial idol statue. It was very difficult for these independent cultivators or people from small factions to have a mysterious primordial idol statue to cultivate. When they heard that Lu Ming had a mysterious primordial idol statue, many experts were tempted. Time passed quickly and 2 years passed. In these 2 years, Lu Ming had recruited many experts. Even 7 or 8 divine emperors had joined him. In this way, apart from the Dark Ape Battle Tribe, Lu Ming had more than 20 divine emperors under his command. This was an extremely powerful force. Many powerful marquis mansions only had this number of divine emperors. This was the benefit of being promoted to a general's residence. If it was only a soldier's residence, many experts wouldn't join him. They would think that there was no future. If it was promoted to a marquis mansion, with the promotion of the primordial idol statue, there would be more experts joining him. Everything went smoothly. Lu Ming's strength was increasing. These were all forces that he had developed under his control and listened to his orders. There was also another piece of good news. Wan Shen had broken through. Wan Shen's original cultivation was peak God King. After tempering himself outside during this period of time, he directly broke through to the Divine Lord realm. Myriad God strength was already extremely terrifying to begin with. Now that he broke through to the Divine Lord realm, it was unknown just how strong his combat strength was. Qiuqiu is going to evolve too. Dragon Emperor City. In a courtyard. Lu Ming looked at a huge metal ball in front of him and revealed a smile. After annihilating the 4 major pirate groups and subduing the other prefectures, Lu Ming had too many resources under his control. During this period of time, Qiuqiu was still the happiest. He could eat all kinds of high-level divine artifacts as he pleased. Was it? Half a month later. The metal ball emitted a powerful aura. Then it wriggled and slowly shrank. Qiuqiu had successfully evolved. Its cultivation had reached the 7th level of the God King realm. I want to eat, Qiuqiu's mouth opened and closed as it stared at Lu Ming. You'll eat me until I'm poor. Lu Ming jokingly scolded. Then he waved his hand and a large pile of divine artifacts flew toward Qiuqiu. They were all superior 7th level divine artifacts and above. Qiuqiu immediately stretched out its tentacles and grabbed these divine artifacts. It began to chew on them with relish. Take your time eating. I'm going to cultivate. Lu Ming smiled and then went to cultivate under the primordial idol statue. Many figures sat cross-legged around the primordial idol statue, comprehending. Of course, not everyone could cultivate under the primordial idol statue. Lu Ming had set a rule. Only those who had accumulated a certain amount of merit could cultivate here. There was also a time limit. This was to let the subordinates work. Otherwise, what was the point of Lu Ming recruiting these people if they cultivated here every day and did not work? Time passed quickly. A few more years passed. My overlord spear force has reached the peak of the 2nd awakening. Unfortunately, I still can't break through. Lu Ming ended his cultivation and frowned in contemplation. The primordial idol statue's effect was indeed amazing. Lu Ming had improved rapidly over the years, but he had not made any major breakthroughs. For example, he had awakened a new origin secret art or increased the number of awakenings of his origin divine power factor. Currently, only the sovereign divine power had awakened 3 times among the 11 divine powers. The other 10 were still at the 2nd awakening. However, the overlord spear force had reached the limit of the 2nd awakening. It was too difficult to break through the 3rd awakening. Lu Ming had not made any breakthroughs. Looks like I need to find an opportunity to train. Lu Ming fell into deep thought. Ever since he came to the Heavenly Chaos Star region, Lu Ming rarely made a move himself. He had always left it to his subordinates. If he did not make a move, he would not be able to train himself. He would not be able to get any stimulation in his cultivation. Lu Ming was the kind of person who preferred killing and honing himself. Only through killing and honing himself could his potential be unleashed completely. Cultivating peacefully and steadily was not suitable for him. he planned to cultivate for a while longer. If the Overlord's spear force still could not break through, he would go out to train himself. However, a few days later, a piece of news came that shocked many people. Not long ago, the barbarian tribe suddenly launched a large-scale attack on the borders of the Taishu dynasty. This time, the barbarian tribe had gathered a large amount of military power and launched an attack with overwhelming force. The Taishu Holy Dynasty was forced to retreat. In just half a month, the barbarian tribe had conquered an entire galaxy. Moreover, the attack did not stop. This shocked the upper echelons of the Taishu dynasty. At the borders of the Taishu dynasty, the major legions were on high alert and temporarily blocked the barbarian tribe's attack. At the same time, the Grand Council issued an order to gather all the forces at the border of the star regions to the battlefield and fight the barbarian tribe together. The Heavenly Chaos Star region was a star region at the border of the Taishu dynasty and the barbarian tribe. Naturally, it was also summoned. The Grand Council issued an order for Lu Ming to send a large army to report to the 8th barbarian tribe. Battlefield? Perfect. Lu Ming whispered, his eyes bright. He was planning to go out to train himself. Now that he was going to the battlefield, it was exactly what Lu Ming wanted. Not long after, Lu Ming led a group of people to the 8th barbarian tribe. This time, Lu Ming brought along more than 10 Divine Lord Realm experts. As for Divine King Realm experts, there were a total of 5,000 people. In addition, Wan Shen and Blue Merchant followed Lu Ming. Autumn Moon stayed on the Hidden Dragon Star to cultivate in peace. Autumn Moon received the inheritance of the Divine Eye Lord of Heaven. She was the opposite of Lu Ming. She did not need to train. As long as she cultivated in peace, she could continue to break through. Chapter 3361. This time, Lu Ming did not bring Yuan Song with him. Yuan Song was too strong. If he brought him along, he would attract the attention of others, especially the imperial advisor's residents and the crown prince. Besides, if he brought Yuan Song with him, Lu Ming would not be able to train himself. The border between the Taishu dynasty and the barbarian race had been warring all year round. Therefore, the Taishu dynasty had set up a large army here. There were a total of 13 armies, known as the 13 Barbarian Annihilation Armies. Lu Ming was going to the 8th Barbarian Annihilation Army. How spectacular! When they arrived at the headquarters of the 8th Barbarian Annihilation Army, Lu Ming was stunned. In the starry sky, there were many huge warships floating in the air. There was no end in sight. No one knew how many warships there were. Most importantly, these warships were too huge. In the Wind Marquis residence or the 4 pirate groups, the largest warship was 1,000,000 miles long. However, there were no such warships here. The smallest warship was a few million miles long. There were even warships that were a few 100,000,000 miles long. Those warships that were a few million miles long were like ants in front of an elephant. They could not be compared at all. Some of the largest warships were as big as some small planets. Countless of these warships were floating in the starry sky, forming a terrifying aura. Those who were not mentally strong would be suppressed by this aura from afar. They would not even be able to use 20% of their strength. This must be the 8th Barbarian Annihilation Army. How terrifying! Lu Ming exclaimed in his heart. Compared to the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army, the army under his control was like a candle flame compared to the bright moon. The difference was too great. It was unknown how many experts there were in this army. This was only the 8th Barbarian Annihilation Army. There were 13 such armies at the border between the Taishu dynasty and the barbarian race. One could imagine how terrifying the strength of the Taishu dynasty was. You are from the Hidden Dragon residence, right? Follow me. At this moment, a group of armored soldiers flew over. Lu Ming nodded and followed the armored soldiers to a warship that was a few million miles long. He arranged a place for them to stay. You can rest here first. If there is a mission, someone will inform you. The leader of the armored soldiers said. Many thanks. Lu Ming cupped his fists. The armored soldier nodded and left. Next, they stayed here and waited quietly. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. On this day, a soldier from the Iron Army came to inform Lu Ming that he had a mission. Lu Ming followed the soldier to a grand hall on a battleship that was over 100 million miles long. Tables and chairs were placed on both sides of the hall. At this moment, it was already full of people. At the top of the hall sat a burly man in iron armor. He was tall and sturdy, and in the middle of his head, there was a pitch-black horn. Almost everyone is here. Let me introduce myself. My name is Shi Huang, and I'm currently the right-wing general of the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army. The burly man introduced himself. Everyone was startled. The general of the right wing of the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army was an incredible position. He could be said to be the top figure of the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army. His strength was unfathomable. Greetings, General. The people in the 2 rows of seats stood up and cupped their fists in salute. There's no need to stand on ceremony, please take a seat. Shi Huang raised his hand, and everyone sat down. Everyone here is the governor of the various prefectures that have been gathered this time. This time, I hope that you will cooperate with the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army. Shi Huang said. Of course. Rest assured, General. Everyone spoke one after another. Normally, the major prefectures at the border would send people to join the army and fight against the barbarian race. Not only could they train themselves, but they could also accumulate merits, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Therefore, no one would refuse. This time, the various prefectures also agreed to this gathering. Okay, now let's talk about the mission. Speaking of this, Shi Huang took out a jade talisman. The jade talisman shone, and a huge pattern floated in the air. The pattern was a starry sky. Huge battleships appeared in the starry sky. The shape of these battleships was somewhat different from the battleships of the Taishu dynasty. There were patterns of savage beasts carved on them. Barbarian race battleships. Someone said. Yes, you should already know that these are the barbarian race battleships. Some time ago, the barbarian race suddenly launched an attack. We were a little caught off guard and were forced to retreat. The barbarian race battleships have already occupied 1 star sector. This fleet of barbarian race battleships is heading to another star sector, preparing to attack. Our next mission is to destroy this fleet of barbarian race battleships. Shi Huang said. Is it that kind of formation? At this time, Lu Ming thought to himself. The Taishu dynasty had probably set up a large number of formations in the starry sky at the border of the universe that could project images of the starry sky. It was just like the array that Lan Shang had set up previously. The few killers who wanted to kill Lu Ming had been discovered in advance. Obviously, the Taishu dynasty had also set up this kind of formation in the starry sky. Otherwise, the starry sky was too vast. How could they monitor the other party's movements? They relied on this kind of formation. This fleet of barbarian race battleships is still half a month away from the next star sector. You set off today. I will send an army to support you. You must complete the mission. Shi Huang said. General, don't worry. We will destroy this fleet of barbarian race battleships. An old man said. This old man was a marquis of the Marquis Mansion and was very powerful. Okay, then go back and prepare. We will set off in 3 hours. Shi Huang said. Lu Ming and the others got up and went back to prepare. 3 hours later, in the starry sky outside the battleships, Lu Ming led his subordinates and gathered with the armies of the various mansions. There is a wormhole here. We can get there as soon as possible. Let's go. Shi Huang also sent an army to meet them. The people of the various mansions followed the army and came to a wormhole. Through the wormhole, they reached their destination very quickly. In just 2 days, they arrived at the Devil Void Star Zone. The Devil Void Star Zone was the star zone that the barbarian race would attack next. Then, they came to the border of the Devil Void Star Zone and lurked on a planet, waiting for the arrival of the barbarian race battleships. More than 10 days later. Rumble. In front of them, a fleet of barbarian race battleships sailed over. The battleships of the barbarian race were also very large. The smallest one was millions of miles long. There were dozens of battleships sailing over. Kill. With a loud roar, Lu Ming and the others rushed out and rushed toward the barbarian race battleships. People of the Taishu dynasty, kill them. Attack. As soon as Lu Ming and the others attacked, the barbarian race battleships discovered them. The battleships lit up and then beams of terrifying light blasted toward them. These beams of light were very powerful. Even ordinary divine emperors would be in danger if they were hit. Dodge! Lu Ming and the others shouted. Their bodies flashed and changed directions constantly to avoid the attacks of the beams of light. Chapter 3362. Although the battleship's attacks were powerful, the battleship itself was too large. It was naturally not agile and would be easily dodged. Lu Ming and company moved forward in a snake-like manner, constantly changing their positions to avoid the battleship's attacks. They were spread out, and each team had their eyes on a different warship. Not long after, Lu Ming and Wan Shen, as well as some of his experts, rushed to the vicinity of a battleship that was tens of millions of miles long. Kacha. When Lu Ming and company approached the battleship, many doors on the battleship opened and the figures of the barbarian tribe appeared. Kill them. The barbarian tribe roared and charged towards Lu Ming and company. Kill. Lu Ming shouted and took the lead, charging towards the barbarian tribe. Qiuqiu transformed into a suit of armor that covered his body, making him even stronger. He threw out a punch, sending out bolts of lightning. Immediately, 2 barbarian tribe members were struck by lightning and turned into charcoal. Trash of the Taishu dynasty, die. A 3-meter-tall, burly, hairy barbarian tribe member stared at Lu Ming and charged towards Lu Ming with a battle axe in hand. The battle axe slashed out, causing the void to tremble. The huge battle axe slashed towards Lu Ming with terrifying power. It was a Sur God. The Sur gods of the barbarian tribe were terrifyingly strong and extremely belligerent. However, the Dark Ape fighting tribe members were even more belligerent. Beside him, an expert from the Dark Ape fighting tribe wielded a metal rod and charged forward, clashing with the Sur god of the barbarian tribe. At the same time, a figure flashed beside Lu Ming. It was Wan Shen. He was extremely fast and charged at the front, charging towards a large door. Kill him. At least a dozen barbarian tribe warriors blocked Wan Shen's path and attacked him with all sorts of attacks. However, Wan Shen's stone spear trembled and the attacks were instantly destroyed. The stone spear did not stop and crushed the barbarians. Your opponent is me. A Sur god of the barbarian tribe roared when he saw this scene and charged towards Wan Shen. Die. Wan Shen said indifferently. The stone spear pierced through the air and stabbed towards the Sur god of the barbarian tribe. Poof. The Sur god of the barbarian tribe wanted to attack, but his attack was instantly countered. The barbarian tribe members were shocked. The other barbarians were shocked. A divine lord had been killed in an instant. It was too terrifying. Impressive. Lu Ming sighed, but Sur god of the barbarian tribe of the same rank Sur god of the barbarian tribe. The barbarian tribe members of the barbarian tribe were killed barbarian tribe warriors, and killed barbarian god of the tribe. Killed barbarian tribe. Soon, he arrived at the gate, barbarian god of barbarian tribe. Barbarian. This time, he had brought more than a dozen Sur gods with him. Their strength was comparable to some of the marquee manors. Among the manors that had come, their strength was considered superior. Our barbarian. As. Barbarian. As a result, there's barbarian as they entered. They killed their way in, leaving behind a large number of barbarian tribe warriors' corpses. In the end, the barbarian tribe members did not dare to resist and retreated. They gathered all the barbarian tribe members on the barbarian tribe battleship and prepared to fight Lu Ming. The other barbarian tribe battleships were also attacked. Dozens of barbarian tribe battleships were engaged in fierce battles. Lu Ming and the rest killed their way in and came to the control room of the barbarian tribe battleship. It was a huge hall that was tens of thousands of miles wide. All the barbarian tribe members were gathered here. Lu Ming and the rest were attacked as soon as they arrived. Kill them all. The barbarian tribe members roared and charged towards Lu Ming and the rest. There were tens of thousands of them, 10 times the number of Lu Ming and the rest. However, Lu Ming and the rest were not afraid and charged forward. The Sir God realm experts charged to the front and fought with the barbarian Sir Gods. The Divine King realm experts fought with each other. Sir God against Sir God and Divine King against Divine King. There were 2 battlefields. Long River of Spear Dao. Lu Ming shouted and swung the Overlord Spear. A long river of spear Dao appeared and shrouded a group of barbarian tribe members. The barbarian tribe members screamed as their bodies were pierced by the spear radiance and died on the spot. In an instant, dozens of barbarian tribe members were killed by Lu Ming. Courting death. A burly barbarian tribe member charged towards Lu Ming with a saber in his hand. With a slash of his saber, the void trembled like water ripples. He was a peak divine king. Combat Ancestor, at the side, a powerful figure from the Nether Ape fighting clan exclaimed in shock. He wanted to rush over to help Lu Ming. I can deal with your own enemies. Lu Ming shouted and swung the Overlord Spear. He activated the battle character art and quadrupled his combat strength to meet the attack. Boom! The 2 attacks collided. Lu Ming's body shook violently and he stepped back a few steps in the void. The barbarian tribe members were extremely strong and they usually had the upper hand in a battle of the same level. Kid, die for me. The peak divine king of the barbarian tribe roared and waved his saber. He launched a torrential attack to kill Lu Ming. Lu Ming was fearless and met the attack head-on. He executed the Overlord Spear art to the extreme and fought fiercely with his opponent. Of course, Lu Ming did not use his full strength. He did not use any of his origin source secret techniques. Lu Ming's goal was to use his opponent to train himself and train the Overlord Spear art. Moreover, Qiuqiu turned into armor and wrapped Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming did not need to worry about his own defense. He only needed to attack with all his might. The 2 fought fiercely and the battle was extremely intense. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged dozens of blows. Yes, that's it. Lu Ming became more and more courageous as he fought. His fighting spirit grew stronger and stronger. He felt that the blood in his body was about to boil. Lu Ming would only have this feeling in a great battle. In this feeling, Lu Ming's comprehension of various divine skills and secret techniques would increase rapidly. Almost there, almost there. Lu Ming had a feeling that the Overlord Spear art was about to break through. He was only 1 step away. However, at this moment, another Divine King realm expert attacked Lu Ming. The 2 barbarian race experts joined hands to kill Lu Ming. Lu Ming's strength was too strong. He was only in the 5th Divine King realm, but he already had such fighting strength. Without a doubt, he was a peerless genius. The Taishu dynasty had such a genius and it was a great disaster for the barbarian race. Of course, they had to get rid of him. Then I will kill you. There was a cold glint in Lu Ming's eyes and densely packed lightning was emitted from his body. It was Qiuqiu's lightning. The lightning gathered towards the Overlord Spear. As Lu Ming thrust his spear, the lightning burst out and enveloped the 2 barbarian race experts. At the same time, Lu Ming's eyes turned into 2 vortexes. It was the yin-yang godly pupils. Endless runes turned into terrifying threads and covered the 2 barbarian race experts. The two barbarian race experts roared and tried their best to resist. However, their bodies were still trembling. Chapter 33-63. Now that Chucho had reached the seventh king god realm, the lightning was even more terrifying. Even a peak god king would feel numb if he was hit by it. Gate of Domination. Lu Ming took advantage of the opportunity and used the Gate of Domination to attack one of the barbarians. As for himself, he became one with his spear and turned into a dazzling spear light, attacking the other barbarian. Puff! The spear light pierced through the barbarian's defense. The barbarian roared and tried to dodge, but he was too slow. The spear light pierced through his chest, creating a big hole. Then, Lu Ming's left hand slashed out like a blade. Lu Ming unleashed the heavenly fiend golden body and his palms were harder than the divine saber. As his palms slashed out, blood spurted out and the barbarian's head flew up. A peak god king barbarian had fallen. On the other side, the Gate of Domination pressed down on the barbarian, making him dizzy seeing stars. Lu Ming dashed out and tore with both hands, killing the barbarian. Many people around were shocked. The Dark Ape fighting tribe was not so bad. After all, many people knew that Lu Ming was talented and had unparalleled fighting strength. Those who had just joined Lu Ming were the most shocked. Before this, they had never seen Lu Ming fight. They only knew that Lu Ming had a group of powerful Dark Ape fighting tribe behind him. Now that they saw Lu Ming fight, they were 10 times more shocked than when they saw the Dark Ape fighting tribe. Because he was too strong. A fifth king god realm cultivator could kill a peak god king. They had never heard of such a thing. Joining him might be the best decision I've made in my life. Many people could not help but have such a thought. Damn it. Kill him. The barbarians were also shocked. They roared and attacked Lu Ming. Your opponent is me. Kill. The Dark Ape fighting tribe and Lu Ming's subordinates roared and blocked the barbarians. Although the number of people that Lu Ming brought with him this time was smaller, they were all elites with high cultivation levels. Although they had fewer people, their overall fighting strength was not weaker than the barbarians. The two sides were locked in a fierce battle. Kill. It was as if Lu Ming had entered a no-man's land, constantly charging and killing. He had Chucho to protect him, so he didn't care about his own defense at all. He only needed to charge and attack with all his might. Every time he charged forward, a few barbarians would be killed by him. Besides the peak of the King God realm, the barbarians under the ninth sky of the King God realm were no match for Lu Ming. They were killed one after another. In the end, Lu Ming transformed into the blue-armored ancient god and became thousands of meters tall. With each punch, dozens of barbarians were killed. Lu Ming was nearly invincible in this battlefield below the Divine Lord level. No one could stop him. Not long after, the number of barbarians that Lu Ming had killed alone had reached thousands. This alarmed the barbarian tribe Divine Lords. Go kill that brat. This brat deserves to die. A few angry roars were heard. Then, a barbarian tribe's Sir God dashed out and charged towards Lu Ming. However, a burly figure blocked his path. It was Wan Shen. Now, the warm-up is over. Wan Shen smiled, revealing his white teeth. Then, he punched out. With this punch, a Gate of Domination appeared and pressed down on his opponent. Break! The barbarian tribe's Sir God roared and resisted with all his might. He wanted to break open the Gate of Domination. However, all his efforts were in vain. The Gate of Domination pressed down on him. The barbarian tribe's Sir God screamed in pain and his body was torn apart. After killing the barbarian tribe's Sir God, Wan Shen's body swayed and he charged towards the next barbarian tribe's Sir God. He opened his mouth and a silver river appeared and swept out. The barbarian tribe's Sir God was swept into the silver river. He didn't even have time to scream before he was killed. 3 secret techniques of origin. Monster, another monster. The barbarians were so shocked that they could not be any more shocked. Lu Ming was already terrifying enough. Now that Wan Shen had appeared, it was equally terrifying. Boom! The void trembled violently as a burly brute race member stepped through the void, causing the void to explode with loud rumbling sounds. Kill! This barbarian tribe's Sir God was shockingly powerful. He was a second-level divine lord. He roared and cleaved down at Wan Shen with his battle axe. This axe was sufficient to slay an ordinary first-level divine lord. A second-level divine lord was enough to kill a first-level divine lord. However, Wan Shen did not back down. He held his stone spear and met the attack head-on. Clang! The stone spear and the battle axe clashed, causing a terrifying explosion. However, the outcome was unexpected. Wan Shen did not move an inch. As for the second-level Divine Lord Barbarian Tribe expert, he retreated frantically. How is this possible? The Barbarian Tribe's Sir God roared, his face full of shock. In the Divine Lord realm, the difference between each level was shocking. A higher level could easily kill an existence of a lower level. To fight someone of a higher level was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. However, Wan Shen's strength was clearly above his. This is a second-level Divine Lord? That's all there is to it. Kill! Wan Shen said coldly. The aura on his body became even more violent. He took a step forward and charged towards his opponent. He opened his mouth and a silver river swept towards his opponent. At the same time, the gate of domination came crashing down on his opponent. The Barbarian Tribe expert was alarmed. He brandished his battle axe in an airtight manner. However, it was all in vain. When several Origins secret techniques landed, the second-level Divine Lord Barbarian Tribe expert let out a blood-curdling scream as his flesh and blood splattered everywhere. When the light dissipated, only half of the Barbarian Tribe expert's body was left. The other half had been blasted to smithereens. A second-level Divine Lord powerhouse was virtually insta-killed too. Seeing this scene, the Barbarian Tribe's Sir Gods were frightened out of their wits. Lu Ming and the other experts on his side seized the opportunity to attack consecutively. A few barbarians were careless and were seriously injured. After killing the second-level Divine Lord Barbarian Tribe expert, Wan Shen did not stop. He charged towards the other barbarians. With his strength, there was almost no one who could withstand a single blow. Every time he attacked, someone would be killed. There were originally more than a dozen Barbarian Tribe Sir Gods. In an instant, 5 or 6 of them were killed by Wan Shen. The remaining people were surrounded by Lu Ming's experts. Retreat! The barbarians were afraid. The warship's leader was a third-level Divine Lord expert. He had been fighting a third-level Divine Lord Dark Ape Battle Tribe expert previously. This time, among the experts that Lu Ming had brought, there was a third-level Divine Lord Dark Ape Battle Tribe expert. He was the strongest among the 11 Dark Ape Battle Tribe Sir Gods who had followed Lu Ming, other than Yuan Kong. The Barbarian Tribe Sir God roared and wanted to retreat. However, Wan Shen had his eyes on him and launched a fierce attack. The result was shocking. The Barbarian Tribe expert was no match for Wan Shen. He was completely suppressed by Wan Shen. After barely withstanding dozens of blows, the Barbarian Tribe expert's glabella was pierced by Wan Shen's stone spear and he was killed on the spot. The rest of the people were stunned. Lu Ming was also amazed. Wan Shen's strength was too abnormal. Only Lu Ming knew that Wan Shen had not used his full strength. In terms of Origin's secret techniques, Wan Shen had mastered at least a dozen of them and had not used them. Once they were used, it would be even more terrifying. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.